Yeah. From the sandlots to the spotlight. From the Negro leagues to the big leagues. This ain't just baseball. This history. This culture. This is stolen bases. Yeah. Save that first.
Hey, what's good, family? Welcome once again to the Stolen Bases podcast. This is where stories are rich, history runs deep, and the culture always has a seat at the table. We're here to celebrate the past, challenge the present, and of course, inspire the future of Black baseball. So whether you're a lifelong fan of this game that we love, or you're just discovering the game for the first time, grab your glove, pull up a chair, because around here, it's not just about stolen bases. It's about reclaiming history. So let's get it. Hey, we're part of this 2-man team. I go by Coach Trey Everett in these social media worlds and streets and stuff. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by my boy, my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Johnny King III. Say what's up to the people.
What's up? What's good? Welcome to episode 5. This is really a revisit to episode 4. I do got to shout out the podcast pod. I'm recording live from the podcast pod studios in Nashville, Tennessee. So I want to just give that shout out. That's the space that I'm in. That's enough said about that, man. I'm ready to roll. Let's go.
Yeah, we appreciate them too, man, and I can't wait to get to Nashville so we could do, in person, and right there at the studio too. So we definitely want to show them some love, man. And like you said, this is episode 5, but this is kind of like a part 2 of episode 4. We were looking at the show notes, and we barely got through the intro in episode 4. That conversation was just so rich and organic that we just forgot all about the notes, and we just were going. We truly just freestyle that entire episode. It was off the dome, but
Carmelo
it was good,
Anthony.
Man. Yeah, exactly. But man, we already getting some responses off of that last episode, and the people are starting to respond. Got some good responses. So I know that this episode is just going to be just as good as that one. So this is actually part 2. We're still going to be talking about the Midsummer Classic, also known, of course, as the All-Star Game, and just sharing our memories of All-Star games of the past. Home Run Derby, the All-Star Game is coming up soon, and so it's that time to really just reflect back on why we love the game, and the All-Star Game is truly a part of that. But before we get into it, we definitely want to shout out everyone who has joined the Stolen Bases squad. We really appreciate y'all, especially all of you who have subscribed, whether it's on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate y'all. But I got a little bone to pick, my brother. This ain't in the notes, but I got a little bone to pick because I was looking at our list of subscribers, and we got a lot of ladies following us.
A whole lot.
Like the ladies are showing up. So this just goes to show that this ain't just a male-dominated podcast. Women love baseball too. But fellas, we need y'all.
Yeah.
like come on. Come on, where y'all at, fellas?
I know y'all know just as much or more than what we know about baseball. We want y'all to join the squad and join the conversation. Come on. Let's go.
Pull up. See, we got to get out this macho mindset of not supporting of one another as men. As whole. This is not just a black man thing, but just as men. Sometimes we see another guy, doing something, and because we not doing it, we just gonna look at him and say, "Oh, okay, I might watch, but I ain't gonna hit that subscribe button." Fellas, come on, hit that subscribe button.
Exactly,
come on, we got to change that narrative.
Come on, we got to change the narrative. We got to get it up. And not only that, how many brothers do you see on YouTube talking about baseball? There's a few, but ain't a lot. Yeah. It's not a lot. And it ain't that many that's talking about it on the level that we're talking about. And the few that you might see talking about baseball, the ones that you might know of, were former baseball players. But what about that angle and that perspective of people who played the game not at the highest level, but follow the game their whole life and have all of these memories and all of these experiences? It ain't nothing like stolen bases, man. Come on, y'all, join the squad. Let's go. Ain't nobody getting cut.
Like it. That's right. Ain't no cuts here. You come on in, hit that subscribe button. You on the squad for life.
You on. And we want to hear
Yeah,
from you. So
man.
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So, fellas, come on. Let's run up the numbers. Let's hit that subscribe button. But I do want to shout out some of the our fellow podcasters out there. One in particular from Instagram, Black Baseball Mixtape,
Yes, sir.
doing some great things, man. So we're not alone in this game. So it's great to see that we're forming a community within the community of just having this love of Black baseball. Also, a Black girl who loves baseball, man, she is doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I want to shout her out because she just got, I just saw her post this yesterday. She got her credentials, her press credentials to be at the All-Star game this week.
Word, that's dope. That's dope. And that's
dope.
That's hopeful for the future, bro.
Yeah,
that's hopeful for the future.
We'll be there next year.
Congratulations to her, man. I love watching her content, man. We got to get you on the show. Black Girls Love Baseball, man. Y'all doing big things over there. You keep doing your thing and educating the people. We love what you're doing.
Absolutely, 100%. I reached out to
Black,
her.
The other one.
Black Baseball Mixtape.
Black Baseball Mixtape. Yes, sir. He just went to HBCU Classic. Where'd he go to?
He's at the Swingman Classic going on, which is basically a HBCU All-Star game in Philadelphia, like a couple days before the All-Star game. So shout out to MLB for doing that. They're having a HBCU All-Star game at the Major League All-Star game, and so it's of course sponsored and supported by King Griffey Jr., aka the Swing Man.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty dope to see Black Baseball Mixtape. They got their press credentials for that. So I saw former Major Leaguer Ricky Weeks is going to be on their podcast. So man, it's just giving me, it's so inspiring to see that. And we can celebrate them because there's so much room at the table for all of us. Absolutely. It's enough for all of us to eat, man. And so I'm definitely celebrating them and happy for them, and gives us hope as, the new cats on the team, it gives us hope to be where they are within the next year or two, man. And it's bound to happen.
Absolutely. It's going to happen. It ain't bound to, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're right about that, man.
Yep.
For sure. So, yeah, man. So, again, fellas, come on. Get them numbers up. Hit that subscribe button. Whether you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and notification button on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on the go, make sure that you're subscribed there, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And, man, I got to tell you, I was in Southern California the past couple of days for work, and I had to rent a car, and I had nothing but Stolen Bases podcast playing through the radio the whole time. I listened to 3-4 episodes while I was in Anaheim this past week.
Yeah,
if I'm listening, I want y'all to listen because I listen to our podcast.
Come on, man. Some of y'all don't have time to sit and watch a video, and we understand it. Some of you guys are sitting in commuter traffic for 2 or 3 hours. That's a perfect time to catch up on Stolen Bases podcast episodes, just the audio version, wherever you listen to podcasts. Come on, subscribe, play, listen, share, join the conversation. We serious when we say join the conversation. We want your feedback. We do interact in the comments. Within 24 hours, one of us is going to come back. Comment back to you, reply back to your comments. So let's go. Let's hear what you got to say.
Let's go. Yeah,
we might even put some of your comments on the show, on the episode coming soon. So what's up? Let's go. Subscribe and join the club, man.
For sure. The numbers are growing, so we gonna stay at this thing, man. We in this for the long term. This not no little one time deal. This something for the long term, and we just gonna grow from it, bro. That's for sure.
100.
Yeah, so let's get into this part 2, talking about the Midsummer Classic, man, the All-Star game. I got to say this just to start off, man. I'm actually excited about the All-Star game coming up. I haven't been excited for a while. I actually missed a couple of the past few years All-Star games because, I just wasn't really tuned in. But I think because of what we're doing, man, I have a greater interest in watching the All-Star game, and not just watching the All-Star game because of what we're doing with the Stolen Bases podcast over this past, month that we've been doing this so far, I actually been watching more baseball games.
Yeah.
Like normally in a week, I may sit down and watch maybe 1 or 2 games. If the A's or Giants are on, I get home from work, turn on the TV. Oh, the A's on. Oh, the Giants on. Let me see what's happening. But now, man, I'm watching random games throughout the week, man. I put it on the major MLB network or ESPN, whoever got a game going, man, and I'm locked in, man. So because I want to be as knowledgeable as about the game as possible, not just about the past, but as the present. So, man, I'm just so grateful for what we're doing, because it's just making me more in love with the game of baseball. That's for sure. I don't know about you, but that's been the case for me recently.
Yeah, honestly, I have found myself watching more baseball in the past few weeks than I've watched over the past few years, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I mean, here in Nashville, when I was in California, of course, we'd watch it a whole lot more, because you got the A's and the Giants there. The Dodgers are in the state, and so are the Angels, the Padres as well. So there's a lot of baseball happening in, California. But here in Middle Tennessee, I mean, we got the AAA affiliate for the Oakland A's is the Nashville Sounds right here in downtown Nashville. So I got to get over there to the stadium and catch a game. But being away from the sport of baseball at a professional level, they're not airing as many games. You don't see it as much on TV. So I have to actually go look for it. And since we started doing this, I actually did. I have started to look for it. Just the other day, I was watching the Giants play Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Man, we got rocked in the first 2 innings, man.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Try to come back, but yeah, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Then we let them get a 9-run lead, like in the second or third inning. It was a wrap.
Bad.
It was real bad, man. Yeah, I got this on, but yeah, it was real bad. But yeah, man, I have found myself desiring to tune into baseball more, to say, pay attention to it a lot more than I have. As a kid growing up, through my teenage years, through my young adult years, I mean, dedicated, watching baseball faithfully. You know what I'm saying? Tuning in every chance I got. And over the years, as we talked about, with the decreasing numbers of Black players in the league, my personal interest kind of started to fade a little bit in the sport. Now, not for the love for the sport, just watching it and seeing it and being able to relate to it in a modern day sense. But since we've done this, it brought my passion. It's brought my passion back for baseball, and to be able to recognize and acknowledge some of the Black players that are currently in the league, the young guys that are doing things. A few of them have made the All-Star team this year, whether they reserves or made the actual roster. So I'm excited about baseball again. I will be tuning into the All-Star game this year for sure.
For sure, man. And you just talk about taking in a game, man. And I like I mentioned earlier, I was down in Anaheim, California this week, and as soon as I touched down, I was like, okay, I know my hotel ain't too far from Angel Stadium. Let me see if the Angels in town.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they weren't, man. But I end up, because I have a fascination for stadiums. Whenever I drive by a stadium, I got to keep one eye on the road, but I'm looking over at the stadium for sure. It could be the Oakland Coliseum, which I looked at 1,000 times over my life, but I'm still gonna go look at it, man.
Every time you pass,
I realized I was every time, man. I realized I was 2 blocks away from Angel Stadium, and so I ended up going over there. I was just going to, snap a picture, maybe, do some content, for our Instagram page, man. But the gate was open. The parking lot gate was open. So I said, let me pull on up in here so I could at least do some content, right at the steps of the stadium. Yeah. And even though the Angels were on the road, so there's no game happening, it was pretty dope that they still had the gates open. And you could visit the team store. The team store was open and available, even though the team, the team was on the road. So I was able to get in there, get to the team store, and of course, I couldn't leave without getting a little something. So when I got this, ain't the old this the old school one. This ain't the one they wear now, but this the classic one from the '80s, the California Angels, not the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's the official
Anaheim
name.
Angels, not the Los Angeles Anaheim time, none of
No,
that.
not that. Them Disney angels, the angels in the outfield.
Yeah, nah. Straight up
Nah, this the
California
California
Angels.
angels right here.
That's
Yeah,
that's
man.
that's the team that Smitty got drafted to.
This the one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those who don't know, we talk about Chris Smith. We mentioned him in the last episode. Our classmate, class of '92 from Vallejo High School. But yeah, he was drafted by the California Angels, 1992, second round.
Second
Second
round.
round. So shout out once again to our boy Smitty for sure. But
Yes,
yeah, man,
sir.
I had to sweep this one up, man.
That's
So
classic, bro.
add into the collection, man. I might need another closet just for my hats.
Yeah, I'm about to start. I'm gonna start racking up, man. I'm gonna start racking up because I've gotten this show has gotten me back into my hat fetish again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I bought I ordered a new one recently. I should have brought it today, but I might wear it next episode or something like that.
Do
But
that.
man, that hat right there that you got on, as soon as I see that, man, I think of Rod Carew. Man,
Yeah.
I think of Reggie Jackson in his career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, I just think of some of the people you mentioned earlier, Gary Pettis.
Gary
Oh my God,
Pettis,
I
yeah.
forgot all about him until you made a clip mentioning Gary Pettis. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I forgot about. And Garrett Anderson was dope out there, man.
Right.
I
Yeah.
believe Torrey Hunter played for them for a
He
minute
did
too,
for a little
didn't he?
while. He should. As a matter of fact, right now he's I don't know if he's a coach or a scout, but he works for the Angels. I
Yeah.
saw their highlights and I saw him sitting on the bench. So yeah, he was with the Angels for a minute and now he's working for the Angels.
Yeah, dope, man. I love that. And then the other thing too, man, I just saw this past weekend. I was watching, and I just happened to be turning the channel, right? And I
Mhm.
stopped, and I saw. I was like, I didn't know who I was watching at first until I watched for about 30 seconds. I was like, oh, that's Jim Abbott. Remember Jim
Oh
Abbott had one arm?
yeah, the one arm.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
pitched for the Angels too, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah,
And
he
I watched the
did.
whole documentary on him, man. That was dope. But yeah, Jim Abbott. If y'all don't know who Jim Abbott is, if you want to see a story about someone who overcame and did not let an impediment defeat him at all, man, go watch the story of Jim Abbott. He's basically a one arm. I mean, he's got two arms, but one arm is like a nub. And
Yeah.
so
It's like
he,
cut off
he
at the forearm.
yeah, he put the glove on one hand, put the glove on his nub and
Yeah.
hold the ball with his hand and hide the ball while he's in his windup, release the pitch, and then hurry up and switch hands and put the glove on his hand and have to field the ball,
Right.
and then take the ball out of his glove with the nub, take the glove off, put it in his throwing hand, throw the ball. Like, this dude was amazing, man, and he did that
Amazing,
often.
man.
So shout out to Jim Abbott, man. That California Angels classic Angels bring back a lot of memories for me, bro.
Yes, sir, man. It was, of course, growing up being an A's fan, I wasn't a fan of the Angels, but always had some respect for them because, them 80s and 90s rivalries with the A's, they were intense, man. So I knew a lot of the players growing up that played for the Angels, because they, back then there was no interleague. So the Angels played the A's at least 8 times a year. So,
Yeah,
they had about 8 3-game series. So it was a lot of games going back and forth between the A's and the Angels. But yeah, it's just seeing cats like you said, Reggie Jackson, Gary Pettis, and even Jim Abbott. Another one, and I know we focus on black ball players, but Jim Salmon, who was a center fielder, man, that phenomenal center fielder, man. Some of the catches that he made in center field for the Angels, man. That dude was different as well. But there's so many greats that came through the Angels system. Even recently, I mean, now you got, of course, Mike Trout, who's been there his entire career. Shohei Ohtani started his major league career with the Angels. So yeah, shout out to the Angels, man.
Albert Pujols played there.
Pujols played there for a minute. That's right.
Yep.
And of course, the late great Ricky Henderson ended his major league career in an Angels uniform.
Yeah, dope, man. That's unfortunately these days they're not, doing as much winning and making it into the playoffs. I mean, I feel bad for Mike Trout because he's been on the team his whole career, probably made the playoff one time. But they've had, prior to the Mike Trout era, the California Angels
Mm-hmm.
were like, they were very, very good. And as soon as they
Yeah.
became the Anaheim Angels, they started kind of taking a dive a little
Right.
bit.
They need to bring back that California Angels. It just sounds better to me
Yeah,
because when
man.
you call yourself the Los Angeles Angels and you're in Anaheim, Orange County,
Yeah.
it just don't sound right.
It's all backwards. And the thing, I think that they cut their feet off, or to cut themselves off at the nose, or whatever that phrase is,
Yeah.
because when they were called the California Angels, a lot of people throughout the entire state of California were Angels
Yeah.
fans. But as soon
Yep.
as they said Anaheim or Los Angeles, you isolated the rest of California to say, well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're not our team anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with the team that's closest to my hometown now. You
Right.
know?
Right. Because basically, you represent the entire state when you call yourself California.
Yeah, yeah. Should have stuck with it.
I think so. Who knows? Maybe they'll go back to it. They changed their name 3 times, so
Yeah, they might go back to it.
They might go back to it. But yeah, man. So we talking All-Star games, man, and so we just want to talk about Black All-Stars throughout the decades, man. And I didn't want to go back too far because we'll be talking about players who we may not have too much of a knowledge about, but if we just start in the 50s, and just walk from the 50s into present day, with the all stars that we've seen, man, we have a extensive list, and
Mhm.
we're going to give some examples, but there are definitely some Black all stars that we will fail to mention today, but
Mhm.
still deserve they flowers still deserve to be called out. So if it's somebody that we didn't mention that that is one of your favorite Black all stars, or just all stars in general, make sure that you put that in the comments. Let us know. We want to talk about it. We want to share that. We want to share some of them same stories, because it's probably somebody that we truly respect as well. But
Absolutely.
just when we just think about just the ones that come to the top of our head, starting in the 50s and the 60s, you have cats, of course, like the Say Hey Kid, Willie
Mhm.
Mays,
Mhm.
who was legendary from the start when they were the the New York Giants, and brought the team to the West Coast in San Francisco, and has just has that legendary status, and is mentioned in a lot of cases as people's goats. He would definitely be on my Mount Rushmore
Mhm.
as one of the goats. But man, just for me, when I think about all stars in the 50s and 60s, Willie Mays has definitely come to the top of the list for me. What about you, bro?
Yeah, Willie Mays, his right hand sidekick, I guess you would call him, McCovey. On
Yeah.
some of those years, he made All-Star team too on some of those years.
Mm-hmm.
We had the beginning of middle of the Hank Aaron era. During those
Yeah.
years,
Mm-hmm.
because and then, of course, Jackie Robinson was in the league at that time. Jackie
Yeah.
Robinson was doing big things at that time. He was one of the perennial all stars in the league in the 50s. I don't know how far into the 60s he played, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely some in the 50s. And
Yeah,
so, yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, those are the type of players that come to mind automatically, of course, without being, I was born in 73. So I didn't see it while it was happening. I don't have the vivid memories like I do some of the later years that we'll
Mm-hmm.
eventually get to. But knowing some of the history of baseball, those are some of the names that just stand right out automatically as all stars.
Absolutely. Same for me. We the same age, and so, we didn't get to see these players play. Like, um, I did get to see, Willie McCovey. I remember, maybe I was like 5 or 6 years old, and it was McCovey's last season
Hmm.
as a Giant.
Hmm.
And so I got to see him once, but that was at the tail end of his career. But we missed out on seeing some of these legends. Thankfully, there is some footage, so that memorable basket catch by Willie Mays, and of course,
Yeah.
Hank Aaron breaking the home run record, the year I was born in '74. So
Yeah.
I definitely don't remember it, but but and that was toward the end of his career as
Hmm.
well. But I'm so glad that the history was able to be shared. We talked about this in a previous episode, where this history, it wasn't just shared, by us watching highlights on TV, but it was also shared by family and friends. My grandmother, loved baseball, and so she would always talk about Willie Mays. She would always talk about Willie McCovey, who was her favorite player, and she would share stories, growing up in Mississippi, about the Negro leagues with me, and so she would talk about Satchel Paige, seeing him pitch and things like that. So I'm just so grateful for the rich history that was downloaded into me, and hopefully by what we're doing, we're downloading that same rich history into the next generation. But speaking of players from the 50s and 60s era, I'm thinking of the 60s, and thinking of like dominant players, and one pitcher that comes to mind is Bob Gibson, because for me, Bob Gibson was Dave Stewart before there was a Dave Stewart.
Yeah.
Like, just the stories that we hear about that cat.
Oh yeah,
that's a scary dude.
Scary dude, man. Bob Gibson. You just hear like it's like when you hear stories about like Jack Johnson. I didn't see Jack Johnson fight, but the stories you hear make him seem bigger than life. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel when I hear stories about Bob Gibson.
Yeah, man. Same here. Like we don't know too much about Jack Johnson and players or fighters or athletes back then, but Bob Gibson, one of them dudes that from everything that I heard, man, he gonna throw at you, but try to rush that mound if you want to. You gonna leave on a stretcher.
For real, you fighting Andre Dawson when you get out there.
Bob Gibson gonna knuckle up for sure. So,
for real, man, for real.
I remember seeing him. This was after retirement. I think it may have been at an All-Star game, or maybe the St. Louis Cardinals was honoring him by retiring his number or something. But even as like a senior citizen, this man still looked intimidating.
Yeah, he do, man. He looked big, like just like you don't want to mess with this dude. He just had this face, like, you just don't want to mess with him.
Yeah. And the crazy part, this was still during a time where, baseball was integrated by the time he came along, but there was still a lot of racial tension. We talking pre-civil rights, movement era, that this cat was pitching, and he had some white dudes scared of him.
Bob Gibson was like Malcolm on the mound, bro. Like Malcolm X on the mound, bro. What you gonna do about it? Say something.
Right. Say something if you want to.
Right.
Because the next one, that one might have been underneath your chin, but the next one gonna hit you right in your ear.
Right in your ear. And I dare you to come out here and say something, do something about it. You're gonna get hit in your other ear.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
because,
bro.
That's the type of baseball we grew up seeing. I mean, I know they implemented a lot of rules now and stuff like that. But the smack talk and stuff like that, you didn't have to worry about the umpires giving you no warning or anything, giving both benches a warning because you talking smack or you threw it too far inside. Bob Gibson was gonna do it to every batter and dared you.
Yeah.
Dared you to complain, dared you to say anything to him, because the next one, it ain't just going to be inside. It's going to hit you.
It's going to hit you. It's going to hit you. They might kick me out, but it's going to definitely hit you, and it's going to hurt. Going hard as you can.
So I love it, man. I'm so glad that we got their legacy to still talk about still to this day, because the thing about them in the 50s and the 60s, they weren't just all-stars. They became symbols to Black culture. Still to this day, man, we talk about, these cats like Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks is another one. Yeah. He is so legendary that they call him Mr. Cub in Chicago.
Yes, they still Mr. Cub. Like, come on, they called it. And he's a Black man. They call him Mr. Cub. So that only shows you how good he was, but how much respect as a Black man that a Black athlete can have and get, when a city or an organization recognizes what they have, what I mean? And respects what they have. I'm not sure that every Chicago Cubs fan feels that same way, but Mr. Cub cannot be denied, like
Cannot.
throughout history,
Yeah.
You can't even tell them the Chicago Cubs story without talking about Ernie Banks.
You
You
cannot.
can't.
Yeah. And,
It's just like trying to tell the Atlanta Braves story without bringing up Hank Aaron. You can't do it.
You cannot do it. You cannot do it. And for a storied franchise like the Chicago Cubs, which is, been around since almost the beginning of Major League Baseball, for them to say this is the face of our franchise for all history. Right. This is Mr. Cub. Wow. That says so much about the impact Ernie Banks had on that team. Yes. And how, like you said, not just how good he was, but the impact he had on the city, on the community, because, he was a staple in the city of Chicago. I'm pretty sure he probably never paid for a meal since he retired in the city of Chicago.
No. I guarantee you he didn't.
Right.
If he need to stay in a hotel or something, free. You good.
You good. That's Mr. Cub. We go take care of him, and indeed they did. So, eventually, I know they got a statue of Ernie Banks outside of Wrigley Field, and they honor him highly. But I would, just a historic and nostalgic place like Wrigley Field, I definitely want to go visit soon. So hopefully I could get to a Cubs game. I would love to, just have that nostalgic experience. The same way I feel about Fenway Park. I know these are old ballparks, real rustic, looking or whatever, but that's baseball to me.
Man, you gotta go see the Green Monster before you leave here, man. I haven't seen it. We have to go to a game at Fenway Park. I have been to the Cubs stadium and watched the game. I've been 2 times to see games in Chicago. It's a very good experience, man. That ivy wall, watching seeing a ball just disappear in the ivy wall, like ball just hit in there and it just didn't come out. And players like, where the heck the ball is at? You know what I mean? And then that was fun experience. And seeing people hit a home run. They have a big wall out over there too in Chicago. Yeah. And people hit that ball. I seen a ball hit out of the stadium onto the street. The game we went to, I can't remember who hit it, but it went into the street. That was wild, but man, a lot of history there. Red brick at Wrigley Field, the flag, the pennant flags that they have flying, above the scoreboard for all of the teams. Just a lot of nostalgia there for sure, man.
I love it. I'm gonna definitely get there, man. So, there's so much rich history, from our Black All-Stars, starting in the 50s and 60s. But as we move to closer to our era, at least the decade that we were born in. But the 70s and the 80s, man, is truly the birth of the swagger era. I like to say, so, of course, in the 70s, we can't talk about the 70s without talking about, cats like Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Of course, got his start, which is so cool to me that Reggie was born and raised in Oakland and started his major league career in Oakland, in the green and gold. I mean, it's not many players who could say that, they started their major league career in their hometown. And man, during this time with the A's, that run they had, 3 consecutive championships in the mid 70s, I believe 72, 73, and 74. So the years that we were born, they got themselves a championship. And so, those were what they call the swinging A's back then, man. And, Reggie, he was the star of the team. Of course, he went on to play for the Yankees, and a lot of people, they recognize him for playing for the Yankees and becoming Mr. October. But, for me, and for you, for both of us, being born and raised, in the Bay Area, he will always be, an Oakland athletic, and just be a part of the history of baseball, and it's in particular Black baseball in the Bay Area for sure.
Yeah. Original A, man. One of the original A's. For
Yeah.
sure. Remember Reggie Jackson being there and it being a big deal, him playing there. Again, as we were talking about on previous episodes, came into the league with an afro, man, and put
Yeah.
on his batting helmet and big old afro
Afro
sticking out the
sticking out
back.
of
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else we was all as kids trying to be Reggie Jackson. I wanted to grow my hair out just so I could have something to
Yeah.
stick out of my hat and my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like for no other reason that I would take my hair and comb it out and puff it out so
Yeah.
that it stuck out the back, just like Reggie Jackson, man.
Same
That's the
here, man.
crazy impact of the things that made us, that drew us to the game, drew us to the
Yeah.
sport.
And that's crazy that you mentioned that, because as you were saying that, I was thinking, I came to this realization that Reggie Jackson was actually the first player that I idolized and that I looked up to, that I recognized, because
Mm-hmm.
Being born in 1974, of course, my dad would take me out in the yard and throw pitches to me or whatever, but actually sitting and watching baseball I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. So we're talking, 79, 1980, which was the time when he, was a New York Yankee at the time, and when he became Mr. October. And he was, truly the first, star player that I recognized and began to follow. So yeah, that he was actually the first player that I idolized. So yeah, early '80s, he was definitely somebody who I tried to emulate as well. I had a little afro back then, so the same thing, I was picking it out, so it could be seen through the hat. But
Yep.
man, yeah, Reggie Jackson, was, he was truly the star power that he had, especially going into the 80s, after the heroics that he did with the New York Yankees, and of course being in the biggest city in the world. Of course you do anything great there, you're gonna automatically become legendary status, and you start seeing Reggie and commercials. And one night, not too long ago, I was watching reruns of the Love Boat. He was on the Love Boat.
On the Love Boat, Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, yeah, he was. You're right, man. He was one of the first athletes, black athletes, that we saw on TV, that we saw with endorsement deals, that we saw getting recognition of any. He had his own candy bar.
He had his own candy bar.
It was
That's
called
right.
Old Reggie, I think.
Yes.
He had his own candy bar, a big leaguer with a can. So, man, when I used to go into the store, I'm like, man, Reggie Jackson got a candy bar. I want one of these.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I want one of. Yep.
I want one of these, man. And so, if you think about it, it's almost like his impact to us as kids back then was like how Michael Jordan started. When Michael Jordan era first came out and the shoes first came out, and the fanfare that was built around him as a black athlete, that's what Reggie Jackson was in the late 70s, early 80s to us. You know.
Yeah. Reggie Jackson actually was the prelude to a Michael Jordan, because cats didn't have 70s and 80s, they didn't have their own signature shoe, but so if he didn't have a shoe, okay, I'm gonna have a candy bar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the Wheaties box.
I was just getting ready to say it. I'm gonna be on the Wheaties box. That's exactly what was gonna come out. We on the same wavelength, boy. I'm on the Wheaties box. That's another reason how we knew Reggie Jackson. We didn't nobody in the hood like Wheaties, but
man, I couldn't stand Wheaties, but I wanted it.
Wheaties, but as soon as we saw Reggie on the box, can I get some Wheaties? Why you don't eat these? Reggie on the box. Yep. I ain't buying this for that box.
That's for sure, man. I just wanted it because my favorite athlete was on the box, but eating some Wheaties, man, this box about to go stale, man. I'm gonna cut out the front of the box, but this cereal about to go stale.
Straight in trash. I just want the box.
And maybe if it had a prize in it, man, it might have a baseball card in it or something like that.
Maybe, man. I wanted to make sure we didn't forget to talk about a particular player from the 70s, early 80s era that I think should be mentioned, and that's Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan was a great athlete, one of the first base stealers that I came to know, a really good hitter.
Yeah.
I think he played second base too, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
But he was the first, before Ricky Henderson, before Vince Coleman, before Tim Raines, the first black person that I remember stealing bases knowing of in Major League Baseball was Joe Morgan. So I just wanted to shout him out too. He was an all-star, great player.
Yeah.
In the Hall of Fame for sure. He was he Cardinals or Cincinnati Reds? Which team was he
Cincinnati
on?
Reds.
Cincinnati Reds. He was on there, the Big Red Machine. He was part of the Big Red Machine.
Big Red Machine, yeah. Matter of fact, the Big Red Machine kind of took over in the 70s after the A's had their championship run. Then the Reds took over. He was a part of those teams, with Johnny Bench and Tony Pena and all those
Pete
cats.
Rose.
Pete Rose, yeah. So, Joe Morgan was a part of that, man. And I remember he was actually one of the guys I tried to copy his batting stance, because I don't know if you remember, he used to do that. They call the chicken wing or whatever.
Yep. Everybody used to do that. Sit up there in the back. We're doing a little Joe Morgan.
Yep. Yeah, so Joe Morgan is definitely one of those greats. And not only that, after his career, one of the best baseball analysts to listen to. While I remember Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, him and John Miller, man, that was one of the best combinations ever, man. And just the knowledge, it was more than he was just giving his commentary. He would be schooling you on the game, like almost like prophesying what's about to come. And how what to expect on the next pitch, or how the defense is set up. So as a young player, listening to him, be the color analyst on ESPN in the 90s, man, the knowledge that Joe Morgan had was just off the chart.
It's crazy. It was like if you watch NFL today and you hear Tony Romo. In particular, Tony Romo is very good at telling you what's probably about to happen.
Yeah.
And then explaining what you saw right after it happened. That's Joe Morgan.
Absolutely.
Joe Morgan did the same thing for baseball, and you exactly right. That combination of John Miller and Joe Morgan, we talked about last episode, or maybe it was couple episodes ago, about listening to baseball on the radio and the sound of baseball on the radio. Man, hearing those two voices on the radio and their camaraderie and how they played off one another, it's like magic, man. They were the game. When you listen to it on the radio, it's like, I'm hearing them talk to me about the game, but their voices represented the game.
Yes,
to me,
absolutely. Almost like in the same vein of a decade before, where you had guys like Vin Scully, and just when you think of Dodgers baseball, I know we neither one of us are Dodgers fans, but when you think of that voice, it's just a classic voice for baseball. Even growing up in the 80s, they used to have Saturday afternoon baseball on NBC, and Vin Scully and Joe Garagiola, I'll never forget. And just that combination of those two voices, as you're watching the game, just made you want to watch, made you want to enjoy the game even more. And John Miller and Joe Morgan was definitely the same way coming up in the 90s.
Man, probably one of the best duos in baseball history, baseball calling history.
100%.
I don't remember. I don't know too many other combos that made me really want to watch that much. Now I do enjoy Mike Krukow and Dwayne Kuiper for the Giants. I enjoy how they play off one another. I enjoy listening to their commentary. Classic voices for baseball, very knowledgeable about the sport. I love listening to them too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. They're definitely the hometown, commentators of not just the voice of the Giants, but the voice of Bay Area sports, in a lot of cases, man.
Especially Dwayne Kuiper,
Yeah, and the fact that they both played, so it's not like Dwayne Kuiper just grew up, with this good, play-by-play voice. He played the game too, and just converted to a play-by-play guy. So, you just don't find that type of combination, out there. But Joe Morgan, I'm glad you mentioned him, man, because he's definitely one of those great black all-stars from the 80s. One that I like to mention that we don't, talk about a lot. But he was on those, those Yankees championship teams with Reggie Jackson. Is Big Dave Winfield.
Oh my
Man, just
Dave
talk about
Winfield.
a power hitter.
He was another one that's kind of like Andre Dawson, just big old lumberjack dude. Just, intimidating as hell when they standing at the plate.
Yeah.
I don't imagine too many pitchers not being intimidated by their presence at the plate just because of how large they were and how they swung the bat so hard. Like, man, like you can almost, every time they swung, you feel like you could feel the wind through the screen. Like,
right. And Dave didn't have like that, the standard, swing, that a power hitter would have. It was like he was swatting at the ball. He had this long. First of all, he swung like a size 37 bat. This huge piece of lumber. But just the way he stood at the plate and his swing, man. When he made contact, that ball was flying out of there.
Out of here, bro. Dave Winfield. Oh man, it brings back so many memories because when we were little, we watched so much baseball. We didn't realize we were watching an excessive amount of baseball. We also didn't realize that we were soaking and absorbing in all these memories of Black athletes. Now we're recalling it in real time. It's not like me and Coach Trey are not. We have an outline that we look at, but we're not going too deep into these conversations. We're just letting it come off the dome. And so I'm just sitting here remembering, like, man, Dave Winfield was a beast, man.
Was a beast.
He if I'm not mistaken, he was a force. He could have played in the NFL. He could have played in the NBA.
Yep.
He could have ran track. Like, that dude was all world, from what I understand. He was that kind of athlete.
Yeah, I've heard those stories, and they're factual. I can't remember what college he went to, or if it was straight out of high school. But I know that he was heavily recruited, and I believe he did go to college and did play football as well. I believe he was a tight end, I believe. But yeah, what was definitely able to play in the NFL and NBA. At the same time, and early in his career, him and Ozzie Smith came up together in the San Diego Padres organization. Man, imagine if they were in their prime still with San Diego playing together.
Wow. We never got to see some of the greatest combinations play because they were traded before their prime.
Yeah.
But they were together as rookies, you know what I mean?
They were together for a couple years as rookies and young players, and then got traded away. But imagine if they became veterans for the Padres, and then you got a young Tony Gwynn coming along.
So Ozzie Smith gonna get, Tony Gwynn gonna get on base.
Yeah,
he probably lead off, or Ozzie Smith might lead off. Then he might steal second. Then Tony Gwynn gonna get a hit. And then
Tony Gwynn gonna get a hit.
It's gonna be a runner on second and third or first and third. Tony Gwynn for sure. Tony Gwynn gonna get a hit.
In the words of Ricky, Tony gonna hit.
Tony gonna hit. Without fail. Tony getting 3 or 4 hits every game. He gonna put the ball in play no matter what. He ain't and it don't matter where you pitch to Tony Gwynn, man. Tony Gwynn will hit you out. He'll hit a blooper into right field. He'll hit one through the gap between short and third. Whatever he got to do, but he gonna get on base. His on base percentage is probably the highest in the history of the game, probably.
Yeah. And what was actually a great base runner and base stealer early in his career. Yeah, later in his career, he gained some weight, and so it was a lot of singles he hit. But man, early in his career, that's another one as well that was a phenomenal athlete all around. Like, of course, we know Tony Gwynn as a Hall of Fame baseball player, but he was also a great basketball player for San Diego State. I believe that his number is retired for San Diego State baseball and basketball.
Basketball, yeah. That's it. Man, so many great – these athletes are crazy. We had some crazy athletes back then, man.
Yeah.
And Tony Gwynn, he was, to me, he made you believe you could hit any pitch. So
Yes.
when they say batting practice, when they say swing at everything, you got 10
Mm-hmm.
pitches. Man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my Tony Gwynn. I'm in my Tony Gwynn mode. I'm trying to hit stuff
Yes.
out the dirt. I'm trying to scoop stuff, hitting outside
Yep.
the plate, off the plate. Like Tony Gwynn made you believe that if you really focus, you could hit any ball anywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, Tony Gwynn. I didn't put him in the show notes, but just I'm glad, like you just said, these conversations just happen organically
Mm-hmm.
because he definitely deserves a mention among those all-stars in the 70s and 80s. Just
Sure. He
such a
was
great hitter. Probably one of the best, if not the best, natural hitter in
absolutely
baseball history. Not just black baseball, but baseball
just
history. Yeah,
history.
there's Ted, there's Ted Williams, Pete Rose was great, but consistently every year, Tony Gwynn was in the top 5 when it comes to batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Every year.
Every single
Every
year. And
year.
for most of the year, he was number one every
Yeah.
year. For a
Mm-hmm.
significant part of the year, Tony Gwynn was at the top, 306, 319,
Yes.
320. Like Tony Gwynn was leading every single year, very rarely struck out, very
Yeah.
rarely walked. Most of the time he was getting a hit. He didn't want to walk. If you try to walk him, he gonna hit one of those outside pitches out to left field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You try to throw the ball too much far outside. I just love that about Tony Gwynn, man. I really
Yeah.
do. He was one of those players like when a big power hitter came up and you're like, I gotta watch this at bat because he might hit one out. Tony
Yeah.
Gwynn was, I gotta watch this at bat just to see what he gonna do. See if yet again he gonna get another hit. Sure enough, there you go.
Yep.
Tony Gwynn on base again.
A crazy stat that I saw about Tony Gwynn, and I don't have the exact numbers, but I saw this, that Tony Gwynn over his entire career, which is 2, maybe 3 decades, you're looking at what, probably 80s, 90s, early 2000s, something like that. But definitely, played 20 seasons.
Sure.
But over his career, he had less strikeouts over the span of his career than I think they said than Aaron Judge had in an entire season.
Wow. That's crazy. I also heard this stat. If I'm not mistaken, I heard he had more assists as a basketball player in college than he had strikeouts his entire MLB career.
Wow.
That man played basketball for 4 seasons at San Diego State. This man had more assists in those 4 seasons, which was only like 340 something.
Yeah.
He had more assists than he had strikeouts over a 20-year Major League Baseball career, man.
Crazy work. Work. Man, Tony Gwynn. Shout out to, rest in peace to Tony Gwynn.
Sir.
Just an amazing ball player, man. I'm glad, we going decade by decade, because as we talk about, cats that, was brought up to the, to the forefront of our mind, it brings up other players, so it's easy to mention, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, Ozzie Smith, even Ricky Henderson, he started coming up in the 80s. But as you talk about them, you start talking about some other great players, because I was going to mention, for the 80s, Ricky Henderson, but then, because Ricky Henderson played left field, but right next to him in center field was another great that never gets talked about, but was a great player, Dwayne Murphy.
Man, yes, he was. Yep.
Dwayne Murphy was that dude, man. Talk about hit for average, power, great defensively, great base runner, man. Him and Ricky Henderson, Ricky leading off, and Dwayne Murphy coming to bat right behind him.
Yeah.
Man, that was phenomenal.
Sure was. I forgot all about Dwayne Murphy until you mentioned it. Dwayne Murphy was a great player. I remember that name vividly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, I was a Giants fan. I was brought up watching the Giants, not the A's. But you can't help but pay attention to the Bay Area great. Dwayne Murphy, I knew vividly who Dwayne Murphy was, man. And some amazing players. It makes me bring back to my years in the 80s of the Giants. Of 2 guys in the outfield that were great hitters, that were great players too. Jeffrey Hackman Leonard and Chili Davis.
Oh, yes.
Remember them?
Yes.
Chili Davis and Jeff Leonard?
Yeah.
Man. Man, them dudes was
Man,
raw, man.
they was raw, man. Jeff Leonard, they called him Big Hack, man, and he
Yeah.
was truly
He was
hacking
hacking up
too.
there, but if he connect,
Man,
it's a wrap.
it's a
He struck
wrap,
out a lot,
man.
but he hit a lot of bombs too.
I mean, he was just like Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, struck out. I think Reggie Jackson still holds a career lead for most strikeouts. But
Yeah.
if you put it in the wrong spot, and he connect, it's gone. Jeff
It's
Leonard
gone.
was the same way, always a danger at the plate, perennial cleanup hitter. Even though, like you said, he may strike out a lot, but hey, if he connect, you in trouble.
It's a wrap. It's a
And
wrap if you
Chili
connect because
Davis,
it's going.
man.
Chili Davis he hit for power, hit for average, stole bases, hella good on defense, man. Chili Davis was just that dude, man, all
Spent some
around.
time with the Angels as well.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Oh man, you bring back memories now. Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's what happened when we start talking about it.
Yep.
Man, so that's the 80s, man.
Days,
It's just unforgettable players, man, from the 80s.
We forgot of so many people. Like, we ain't talking about, I mean, there's so many, and that's why you subscribe to this podcast. Don't just think that this episode is the only episode we're talking about this kind of stuff. Every single episode, we come off the top of our brains with memories that we've seen. And, I mean, there's still so many players. I'm thinking about players like, and these players were 80s, 90s, but mid 80s to, early 90s, like the Kirby Pucketts and Sean Dunstons and Terry Pendleton, man, them kind of, man, just, we had David Justice, bruh. Oh, we had a lot of players, man. Like, we just really sat down and just one day we got to do a show or a segment of a show where you got 3 seconds, come up with another, and when you can't repeat, come up with another black player, but you just can't repeat one that's already been said.
Right.
So we just see how far we can get down the list, what I mean?
I would love that, man, because and that's the thing for those of you watching or listening, and you might be in your car, you may be watching from your home or your office, and say y'all forgot about this, but they forgot about this, but please put in the comments, because it's not that we're forgetting, it's just that there are so many that we cannot list them all within this one episode. So make sure that you put in the comments. Let us know, who's coming to mind for you in what decade, because we're not going to disagree with you. We're definitely going to agree with you, but we're just like Johnny said, we're just coming off the dome, and these are just players that are coming to mind as we have these conversations. But there's going to be some that we don't mention that deserve to be mentioned. So make sure that you hit us up in the comments, and you talk to us. We talk back.
Let us know. We talk back, man. I don't forget about Willie McGee.
Oh man, another Bay Area great.
Yeah.
From Richmond, California.
Willie McGee was raw too, man.
Man, another one who was always in the top, I wouldn't even say top 5, top 3 every year when it comes to batting average.
Yeah,
always
he's on base. Yes.
On base. And then once he's on base, he's going to be in the conversation for stolen base leaders.
He's a threat too. Yep. He's a threat.
Absolutely.
Man, he had this crazy looking face when he was at the plate. He'd be like mean mugging at the plate, man. Like
mean mugging a little bit. Man, but he was dope. Man, he was so dope, especially on those Cardinal teams. Them World Series Cardinals teams in the 80s. That's what made us take a look at him, because as we were admiring Ozzie Smith, Ozzie Smith leading off, and right behind him was Willie McGee.
Yep. Willie McGee. Yep. Sure was.
Indeed,
sure was.
Man.
Man, we just so many memories, bro.
And
we ain't even scratching the surface. We only talked about six or 7 teams. If we really went down team by team, there's so many people we would remember.
That's how we need to do it. We in a future episode, we just need to go team by team and just start naming off black greats, man.
Yeah, we remember.
Man,
remember Pedro Guerrero on the Dodgers.
Yeah, man. Another
I don't
power
know if he
hitter.
was black, but he looked black.
he was black enough. That's for sure.
He looked black. He had an afro.
If you walk by Pedro on the street, that's a brother.
Yeah, exactly. He's the player that I saw hit. I went to a Giants and a Dodgers game when my dad took me when I was a kid. He's the one that hit the ball out of the stadium into the parking lot. I seen Pedro Guerrero hit a ball into the dang on parking lot out. Man, I was amazed.
Wow. Yeah, that dude has some crazy power, man. So, man, the 80s, man, that's our era that we fell in love with the game, but moving into
wait, hold up. Before we move in, because we would be remiss. We mentioned a lot of greats. We mentioned some that are obvious, and we mentioned some that were not so obvious that we recall. But we would be remiss if we don't go back to the 50s, 60s time, 60s, 70s time, talk about Roberto Clemente.
Yes.
We gotta talk about Roberto Clemente.
Absolutely. I know, some people say, well, he was Latino. No, he was black.
He was black.
Yeah, he was
his mama
black,
was
Latino.
black.
Yeah.
And he looked like his mama.
So. Yeah. And so, it's not about, of course, being Puerto Rican, you might say, oh, he was Puerto Rican or whatever, but it's just that, his ancestors, that ship that his ancestors was on made a harder left turn than our ancestors did. That's all that is. But we all come from the same continent. But yeah, Roberto Clemente, amazing player. Life definitely cut short. Before his time. But man, talk about the impact that he had on the game. And the impact that he had on society, like truly one of those players who nowadays we would call woke, because the impact that he had not just on the game of baseball, but on his community, on the city of Pittsburgh, on America, on Puerto Rico,
man, his own people. He reminds me of his spirit and his off the field attributes remind me of like a Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
He was a man about his people, kind of like Muhammad Ali was. So lots of respect for, and not to mention one of the best athletes in baseball, in the history of baseball. For from what I learned about Roberto, for several years when he entered the majors, the Dodgers tried to hide his talent. They tried to stick him into some minor league system and push him away because the Dodgers had a lot of great outfielders at the time. He was a rookie and they brought him over, but they didn't want to let him play because they had some great players already playing, and he was young, but he was talented. And so instead of keeping him on the bench because he was getting frustrated, like he was getting offers from all these other teams to leave the Dodgers and come play with them. So the Dodgers put him in some kind of like minor league system to try to tuck him away. Eventually, the Giants bought him away from the Dodgers. He became a Giant. Then he went to the Pirates after that.
He went to the Pirates.
Kind of finished his career, yeah. But, man, just a great player in the history of our sport. Black people, we consider Roberto Clemente black, just like the Puerto Rican population considers him Puerto Rican. We give props to him for all his contributions, both on and off the field, man. Just a great human being.
A great human being, yes. I recently watched a documentary on him. I believe it was on Netflix or somewhere. I can't remember where I watched it, but just a great story told by his family. So this is not like just coming from reporters. You're getting firsthand knowledge from his wife and his family. And just beautifully done documentary, man. Just telling his story, just about his struggles for being a Afro Latino player, but also wanting to give back to his homeland, his community, and also make a difference locally, in Pittsburgh and in the United States, and how he was such a philanthropist, would just show up, at hospitals, visiting the sick, or, just, being accessible to kids playing baseball, in the streets of Pittsburgh, just like you said, man, just a good human being. And we need more of that, man. We need more of that in the game of baseball, where I'm not saying that, the players today aren't good human beings, because I believe that the majority of them are, but we just need for them to just be that accessible in the community, and let us see you in the community the same way. Not just for the likes and the clicks and for the Instagram posts, but really being a part of the community. Like, I remember, Willie Mays living in the community. He wasn't like living, like players nowadays, you might play for the Giants, but you living over in Marin County, or down in Atherton or somewhere, where the money is. But Willie right there in Hunters Point.
Right. Yep. Right where the people are.
Yeah, right where the people are. Ricky, his entire life, he lived in the Oakland Hills. So he stayed right there in Oakland. He wasn't moving out to like Walnut Creek and nowhere like that. He was right there in the hills.
Yep.
So, it's just great to see players that do that, man.
Yes, sir. Last thing I want to say about Roberto Clemente before we move on is, if people don't know, how he left this earth, it was kind of a little tragic, but he did it in service to his people.
That's right.
He had sent, as a well-respected player with a little money, he sent a bunch of food supplies over to his country, and a bunch of supplies and food and things like that to his country. And then they had a major earthquake over there. And in that earthquake, a lot of those supplies were lost. So he wanted to go back over there to replenish them with the supplies. He wanted to personally make sure that the supplies got to them while he went over there to check on his people. They overloaded the plane with all those supplies, and story is that there were several people that felt like maybe he shouldn't have taken that trip, because they were concerned about whether or not that plane was going to be able to hold up with all those supplies that entire trip. And shortly after it took off, it crashed into the ocean, and that was the end of his life. And it very tragic, but a very heroic story of a human that said, at all costs, if I got to be the one for my people, I'm going to do it myself.
Absolutely.
And just a heroic, amazing story, man. Shout out to Roberto Clemente and his family.
Absolutely. I mean, it just goes back, to a Bible scripture that says, no greater love is there than a man who lays down his life for his brother, or just say, in this case, for his people. And he laid down his life for his people, man. He wanted to make sure that they were taken care of, because, there was some talk that, the supplies, once they arrive, the rich folks or the more privileged people, they were taking advantage. So he said, nah, I'm gonna make sure that this gets in the hands of the people who need it the most. So, man, just like we both said, just a good human being, man. So rest in peace to Roberto Clemente, that's for sure. But before we wrap up, man, we're going to call this our seventh inning stretch. But let's move into our era, the era that we know the best, the era that we played in, the era that we became young men in. So let's talk about the 90s up until today, man, and the All-Stars in that era, man. Where do we start?
I mean, we'll just save Barry for last, I guess.
let's save for last, because I think by now the audience know.
Yeah, they're like, go there. Here they go. They're gonna start talking about Barry Bonds again.
That's a given. That's a given. Okay, so we'll save Barry for last, man. But I mean, it's so many greats, and I know just like in the 80s, we're gonna miss out on some players, especially from the 90s era. But when we talk about great hitters, one that come to mind who we haven't talked about yet on this podcast is the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas.
Oh yeah, the Big
Hurt,
bro.
Another dual sport athlete. Pause for a minute. We may have to do a whole episode on dual sport athletes. Now, some maybe didn't play NFL and MLB, but maybe in college, or just their history shows that they were phenomenal multi-sports athletes. Frank Thomas is one of those cats. Played at Auburn football and baseball, and was phenomenal at both.
Oh yeah. Phenomenal at both. He, if I'm not mistaken, he was there around the time Charles Barkley was there. We're playing at
Bo
Auburn.
Jackson as well. I believe him and Bo Jackson were even teammates.
Teammates for a season or two. Yeah, for sure. And that's another one. I mean, Bo Jackson, was one of those ones in our era that, when they talk about Michael Jordan, I think I won't say before Michael Jordan, but I'll say right after Michael Jordan and Nike started to take off.
Mm-hmm.
Now Bo knows everything. I want to be like
Yes.
Mike, and Bo knows everything.
Yep.
Bo could play any sport, could do
Mhm.
anything, and so that was a whole campaign.
Yes.
They show a commercial with him playing tennis and golf
Right.
and swimming and bicycling and all kind of stuff. Bo knows
Yeah.
lifting weights. Bo knows
Yep.
everything.
Yeah,
know?
Bo was, oh my God. When we talk about just a naturally raw, gifted athlete, he has to be at the top of the list because that he was just a human specimen. Of course he played for, my favorite football team, the Raiders, but I'm just so sad that, we didn't get to see the full Bo at the professional level, whether it's baseball or football, because once he had that hip injury, it slowed him down on the baseball field as well. He was not the same player. But if you remember Bo before that hip injury, whether it's football, of course, you look at the way he ran the ball for the Raiders, man, and the damage
Bruising
he did.
runs, man.
Just killing people.
I mean, embarrassing people. Just move out the way. If he got a 2 or 3 yard lead ahead of you, man, just move out the way.
Just move out the way, because the way he trucked by Brian Bosworth ended that man's career.
Man, for real. And embarrassed him for life.
But
crazy.
Before that injury, man, and just look at him playing baseball, of course, everybody remembers that catch after he made that catch in left field and then ran up the wall.
Run up the wall,
like
man.
He was running so fast that he just couldn't brace himself to hit the wall. He had to run up and down. So this man is horizontal.
Right. Running so fast, running horizontal on the fence after he caught the ball because he was just running too fast.
Yeah.
Man, I'll never forget that. That's the kind of stuff that he wasn't able to do after the injury.
Right.
Right. That's kind of what he went from a dominant hitter, power hitter, and a dominant defensive player to still a dominant power hitter, but a marginal average defensive player because hip-wise, he couldn't turn like he used to turn.
Right. He ended up having to be a DH for most of his career after that injury. But I also remember, since we're talking about all-star games, I remember, I believe that this was his rookie season for the Kansas City Royals, and he made the all-star team. If it wasn't his rookie season, it was his second season. And the all-star game, coincidentally, was in Anaheim at Angel Stadium. And I believe he was the all-star MVP. If not, he showed out. He hit a home run that game and just really showed the doubters that, I'm that dude on the football field and on the baseball field. Yeah,
because when he made that team, if I'm not mistaken, the news were kind of like, y'all just giving it to him because he's Bo Jackson, because of popularity. He was considered a popularity choice as opposed to an all-star.
Right.
So like, I know he's pretty good, but there's amongst the league, people thought other players were more deserving.
Right.
But when he got up to bat, he showed everybody why he was chosen, as an all-star. I think he might have been like a coach's choice. One of the coaches said, no, I'm putting Bo on my team.
Yeah.
He showed, and I think they started him. And it wasn't it was an unpopular opinion to start Bo Jackson. They started him, and he hit a home run the first at bat, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the first at bat, and if I'm not mistaken, someone in the audience, please enter in the comments if I'm wrong. But if I'm not mistaken, the pitcher that he faced was Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, that might be right. That might be right.
So.
That's a little inkling of that being right in my head. That might be right. Yeah,
but whoever he faced, he faced the National League starting all-star pitcher.
It probably
was somewhere
Nolan
on
Ryan.
that level with Nolan.
Oh yeah. He was one of the greats for sure.
Yeah, and Nolan used to throw gas too. For a while, I remember as a kid reading the Guinness Book of World Records, and Nolan Ryan held the record for the fastest pitch thrown at that time. I believe he threw a pitch at 106.
Yeah, something like that. I remember that.
So to face, Nolan Ryan, who was great not only, in the prime of his career, but even towards the end of his career, Nolan was still dominant. And so here come Bo Jackson. Get that out of here.
See ya. Same thing. I mean, hell, that's what I think Griffey said the same thing. His first All-Star appearance, he had to face Nolan Ryan. And I think he hit a home run off Nolan Ryan. Or he battled with Nolan Ryan. It was like a long at bat or something where Griffey had the upper hand and Nolan couldn't believe what was going on because normally he'd just be gassing through people and Griffey was like, this ain't nothing.
Right. This is strikeout.
Right, bro. I'm just playing strikeout, bro. You don't throw hard as my daddy.
Right. Man, but so many great players, man. And, so, I mean, we just mentioned the kid, Griffey, he was definitely one of those 90s greats. And then also, a guy who got drafted, we talked about our high school classmate at the beginning of the show, Chris Smith, but, got drafted in that same draft class was Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
The captain. And Derek was one of those guys. I looked at his some of his highlights as not as all-star, but as a high school player, and just looking at him, I'm like, he may have made our high school team.
Yeah.
He might have made the squad.
He might have made it. A lot of them players probably wouldn't have been on our high school squad.
Right.
They just happened to be, they went to a school, they had more exposure. Vallejo, coming out of Vallejo, just from the fact that you are in the city of Vallejo and kind of a little rough town, it pushed people down in the draft stock just because they were from Vallejo. They could have been the number one player in the whole country, but because they're from Vallejo, we gonna win. We don't know. We don't know.
We
yet.
don't know.
But
what is
if it wasn't for that, if Chris Smith was in Danville or Turlock or somewhere, that he'd been the number one pick in the draft, probably.
For sure. But but when Derek, finally, got drafted and, seeing him sharpen his gears in the minor leagues and then, breaking into the big leagues, he definitely showed improve. So, he definitely put in the work. Definitely, just to see what he was like in high school to where he became as a pro player, you could tell that dude put in the work and became, amazing all around ball player. I mean, for you to be known as the captain
of the Yankees when there's so many great players.
Yes.
I mean, even all the years he played, there was so many Hall of Famers that came out of the Yankees team organization from the years Derek Jeter was on that team, Derek Jeter being one of them. And he was called the captain.
Always.
Just like
everybody looked
Mr.
up to
Cub,
him.
like, the captain.
You had players who had already established themselves as Hall of Famers, come to the Yankees, but still said, I'm going to play second fiddle to this cat. This is the captain. Alex Rodriguez was already a Hall of Famer by the time he came to the Yankees. He was like, this ain't my team. This is Derek's team. That's
exactly.
Talk to the captain. That's captain.
Exactly. Yep.
CeCe was already on his way to a Hall of Fame career, but hey, no, this is Derek's team.
That's the captain, man. No matter what, man. And just it seemed like whenever he came to the plate in a pressure situation, he was always coming through. In a pressure situation. He might not come through all the time, but if it counted,
I'm betting
you could bet Derek Jeter finna come through with a hit, man, or RBI or something. He finna get on base.
I'm never counting that dude out. Even though, I will carry this to my grave. This is the one thing that I don't like about Derek Jeter in that American League Wild Card Series against the Oakland A's. And when he ran home and they suppose that swipe tag, Derek was out. Derek was out. I don't care what anybody say. Derek, you was out, and that's the only. I'm already not a big Yankees fan, but
Yeah,
there are
they gave
two
it to him.
Yankees as we grew up that I will always show love to and respect to. Of course, our very own hometown homie, CC Sabathia,
Sure.
but Derek Jeter is that other one. You just cannot help but respect him. But in that situation right there, Derek, Cap,
You was out.
you was out.
You was out. They gave it to you. They gave that one to you, man.
The only reason they called you safe was because you're Derek Jeter.
Yep. Exactly.
And you played for the New York Yankees.
He had the Michael Jordan rules back then,
Right.
He had the Michael Jordan rules.
They
Derek
definitely
Jeter.
gave him the Jordan rule, man. So yeah, but shout out to Derek Jeter.
We also got to bring
amazing.
up Bernie Williams,
Bernie,
as a
yes.
closer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, a center fielder. Sorry, not
Center
closer.
fielder, yeah.
Center fielder. Yeah, Bernie Williams.
Now talk about more clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie was good for a good double, especially when the playoffs came
in the
around.
Playoffs.
Yes.
Playoff Bernie Williams. Yeah, bro, he was different.
Yes,
he was
indeed.
Different.
I bet on him every single
and
time.
Derek Jeter in the playoffs was almost money.
They just turned on. They just turned on when the lights were brightest.
Yeah,
they turned on for sure.
Even
though I was hoping that they would strike out, I'm hoping that they would lose.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't bet against them.
No, never. I was like, oh, Bernie Williams up, it's probably a hit. That's what I used to think. Derek Jeter up, it's finna be a hit.
Right.
Every time, man.
Right. The Yankees down 1. Bernie Williams coming to bat, bases loaded. Oh, it's over.
Ball game.
Ball game. Walk off.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, man, I know we're gonna miss some, but even if you go to if we go to players today, man, one of my favorites today, Mookie Betts.
For sure, man.
Even though how we both feel about them Dodgers.
Nah, man.
I see him the same way as Derek Jeter. Like, I can't stand the team that you play for.
Yeah.
But man, I love you, bro. I love me some Mookie Betts. Man, it's just amazing. And I just saw a stat this morning as we're recording this. He has officially played equal amount of games with the Dodgers that he played with the Red Sox.
Mm.
And his stats are pretty much consistent across the board. Home runs, average, you name it. He's been consistent his entire career. Yeah. The only thing is that he just has 3 championships with the Dodgers and 1 with the Red Sox. But come on, this man is still in the prime of his career and already got 4 rings. And he could get another one.
Yeah, he got a Hall of Fame resume already. If he retired today, he's already in the Hall of Fame.
Indeed.
You won a World Championship in the American League. You won 3 in the National League, 2 of them back to back. Bro, that don't happen. That's a story untold.
Yeah.
And don't let him, end his career with the Dodgers and go somewhere else and win one. That's like he on LeBron status then, I guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing, like you said, could definitely, win more because, he's still, what, maybe early 30s, something like that.
Yeah, he's young, man.
Yeah, he's still young. So he can easily play another 5 seasons, if not more. At a high level, man. So we still haven't seen, the best of him. There's still a lot for him to do in this game. But man,
I wonder when
just a great player all around as far as position wise. I've been to a couple Dodgers games over the past few years, with my daughter in college down in LA. And so whenever I go visit her, I check out the game, and every game that I've been to, he played a different position. I've seen him play center field. I've seen him play right field. I've seen him play second base. He's at shortstop.
Yeah.
Just a guy you want on your team.
Yeah, man. Utility all around player. I mean, not utility in the sense like the traditional utility player is just a player that's pretty good at all things.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is great at every position. The only thing he don't do is catch and pitch.
Right.
But he can do everything else. He could play first base if he had to. He can play all of the outfield, all of the infield, and do them as if that was his starting spot.
Yes.
You
Like
know,
he's been
like
playing
just
his entire career.
entire career, just a great player. I'm interesting to see at the end of Mookie's career, how his numbers stack up to some of the greats that we consider up there
Hmm.
right now. Like
Yeah,
where he's going to be at on the stolen base chart,
right.
where he's going to be at on the number of Gold Gloves, where
Yeah,
he's going to be at on the number of championships. If the Dodgers keep doing what they're doing, he's going to outpass everybody.
right,
You know, he's going to be the
right.
MJ of baseball in a
I was
minute.
just about to say that you'll see him with that picture. You know that picture with MJ with the six
All the
rings like
way.
this.
Yeah.
Hey, he
Mookie
only
Betts will
need
be
two
like
more.
this.
Mookie could have that same photo.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Tom Brady got a whole bunch. He got one like that too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Mookie is amazing, man, and just a good dude as well. Another one of
Hmm.
those guys that just is a good. It's hard not to like him,
Yeah.
because he's soft spoken, but at the same time, is doing things in the community. I know, being there in Nashville, that's where he came up. I
Hmm.
know he does a lot of things in the community there. He does a lot of things in the community here in Cali, man. So just a great person, man. So yeah, shout
He's
out to
great,
Mookie
man.
Betts.
My son had the opportunity to go. My son is not interested in playing baseball too much these days. He's playing
Uh,
football now and basketball. But when he was a little bit younger, he had the opportunity to go to a it wasn't a camp. Mookie
uh,
Betts was in town for a weekend and had this like in a batting cage, just kind of a come meet and greet and a
yeah,
little bit of like a like a day camp. I guess it was
yeah.
like a day camp. He had a chance to go there and meet Mookie, take a picture with him, and learn some things. So that was pretty cool. And it was all black kids. It was about
Wow,
maybe 30 black kids in there
that's
and a few
dope.
dads and Mookie Betts. That was pretty dope.
That is dope, man. We need more of that in cities across this country. That's for certain, man. And
Hmm.
before we close out the '90s up until today, and going back to power hitters and power hitters of today, the current captain of the Yankees, Aaron Judge.
Judge,
This man, what
99.
last season or the season before, hit over 60, so he was pushing close to the home run, the single season home run record.
Mm-hmm. I
I
think he is like
believe
64, maybe.
64, yeah. So we haven't seen that since Bonds, to
Hmm.
have such a high number of home runs. And I think the only thing that's going to keep him from being a threat to Bonds's record of career home runs is his health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, missing games,
Hmm.
back injuries, stuff like that. That don't help at all.
Yeah.
If you start missing games, it starts pushing your at bats down and
Yeah.
your opportunities down to stay up
Hmm.
high in the ranks. And if that injury, gets worse, it's gonna be hard for him to swing the bat as hard as he does.
Exactly. Because we saw the same thing with Alex Rodriguez later in his career.
Hmm.
Health complications kept him from, getting close to that home run record, because there was a time that he was on pace.
Hmm.
But because of health, and then of course having that long suspension, for juicing,
Yeah.
that kind of slowed him down. So he missed the mark. But with Aaron Judge, it's just going to be health that really complicates things for him. And plus just being that big,
Yeah.
you're going to have more health complications than somebody who was like the size of a Derek Jeter. Now Derek Jeter, got some height on him as well, but not like you're talking
Not
about
like
Aaron
Aaron
Judge
Judge.
6'7",
Yeah, Aaron Judge is like almost like Miles Garrett at the plate.
Right?
He's just a big old tight
Exactly.
end at the plate.
Yeah. So so swinging the bat that hard, you're going to have some wear and tear on your back. He's not playing DH; he's everyday right fielder.
Mhm.
So that's going to have some wear and tear on his body as well. I could see him probably within the next couple of seasons being a full time DH, or at
Mhm.
least the Yankees, or whatever team he's playing for, towards the end of later years of his career, they'll definitely urge that he moves, to being a full-time DH, just to preserve him for a few more seasons. But yeah, just he is a great hitter though, great power hitter, great hitter for average, man. And so, and then another California native, not Bay Area, but California, from the Central Valley in Fresno. But yeah, man, Aaron Judge, I can't help but respect him, even though I don't like the team he played for.
Gotta respect what he's done in his career, what he's done for the Yankees, his power, his consistency. I mean, he's not like he had, 40 home runs one year, then 22 one year, and 37 another. He's upward 40s and up every single season. And if he's in the low 40s, it's because he maybe missed some games or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. There's one more player I want to mention before we get out of this.
Man, there's so many people we have.
It's so many.
we can't cover it all in one episode. I know, like you said, if y'all like, man, they didn't talk about this person. I could think of 1,000 people right now. 2 people I want to go back to, but I'm not going to do it. But one time we got to talk about Doc Gooden and Daryl Strawberry, man. We got to talk about them dudes.
Yeah, man. Man, the 86 Mets, man, I had a Mets starter just because of Doc Gooden and Daryl Strawberry, man.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. Man, yeah. We will definitely miss some, but they were amazing, man, for sure. But one player from today, and this may be a bit of bias because, of course, I'm an A's fan, and I go to A's games, and so I watched this kid, and he kind of struggling right now this season, but yeah, I'm really cheering for him, and that's Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler, he's an outfielder right now for the Oakland A's, man. Born and raised in Atlanta, so I have that connection to him as well. So as he was coming up, I was living in Atlanta during that time, and then to see him come to the A's and do his things, had a very productive season. Their last season in Oakland and their first season in Sacramento, Lawrence had very productive seasons. Like I said, kind of struggling right now, but we're just at the halfway point of the season, so there's plenty of time for him to turn it around and have a good season. But I'm cheering for that kid, man. I just love the way he goes about playing the game. Very unapologetically black. I love that about him as well. He's coming with that swag every single night. Got his locks. So he got to wear a different kind of headband. Because of his locks, and his hat sit high because of the locks, man. But very unapologetic in who he is, and I'm totally cheering for him. I hope he really breaks out and becomes for the rest of his career be one of those perennial all-stars.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. We definitely got to cheer for him. Any young black all-star or black baseball player that, is a starting player, we definitely want to pay some attention to. In future episodes, we'll be highlighting some of these younger players, some of these current modern day players that are playing in the game right now. As we talked about at the top of the episode, our interest in watching current baseball, like all the stuff we talk about is vivid, passionate memories of baseball from our past. And some of it is historical knowledge to some of you guys are younger viewers that are watching, that is like, oh man, they actually seen this stuff and lived when these players were living. But some of you are our age and you remember them just as vividly as we remember them. And some of you also may not be as connected to the modern day game. Right. And so, we're going to try to be a little bit more of a bridge to the modern day game as well, because there are several young black players right now in the league. While the numbers might not be as much as they used to be when we were younger, there are several of them, like the one he just mentioned, that are doing really well. Michael came to me. I wanted to say Michael Tucker, but Michael Tucker, I think
that's another
he
one.
was playing when Dame was on the team, right?
He was, yeah.
That's who Dame. He got hurt, and then Dame went and filled in for him, right? But Michael Tucker was raw too.
He was,
and
raw,
Dame was raw enough to fill in for him. Like Michael Tucker got hurt, Dame played the rest of the season, I think, in right field.
Yes. Well, we can't leave here since we're talking about 90s player. Shouting out our very own, another high school classmate of ours, class of 92 at Vallejo High School in Vallejo, California, Damon Hollins, who played Major League Baseball in the 90s, got drafted by the Braves, spent some time with the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays, and ended his career with the Kansas City Royals. Now currently the first base coach with the Kansas City Royals. Damon Hollins. Shout out to you, my brother.
Shout out to Damon Hollins. His rookie season wasn't really a rookie season. I mean, he spent so many years at the AAA level because he quickly rose to the AAA level and stayed at the AAA level. The only reason why he stayed there so long is because he was in the Braves organization, and the Braves had so many great players.
They were stacked.
Yeah. They were stacked. They had so many great players, and his immediate position, Michael Tucker, was a perennial all-star, leadoff hitter in the Braves organization. And it wasn't until Michael Tucker got hurt that Dame had his opportunity.
Yeah.
And when he did that, afterward, when he got, I don't know if he got traded or he ended up on Tampa Bay. When I say that about a rookie, he was probably in his late 20s, maybe early 30s. He might have been 30 years old, but they were saying he was the oldest rookie of the month. I think in the month of June. I don't know what year it was, 2008, 2007, something like that. He was rookie of the month. He hit like 12 home runs in that month, stole like 16 bases, was batting, about 340 or something like that. Like he was killing that month, man.
Yeah, man. I was so glad when Dame left Atlanta and went to Tampa Bay, because he just couldn't break into the big leagues with the Braves and who they had in the outfield. Like you just mentioned, they had Michael Tucker in right. In center field, you had Andrew Jones, and in left field, you had Chipper Jones. I'm sorry, Chipper was third base. You had Dave Justice. And then, once Dave Justice left, you still had, what was his name? I can't remember his name, but Brian Jordan.
Oh, that's right.
That's
another one.
Another
athlete, Brian Jordan. NFL and he played for the Falcons and the Braves.
Falcons and the Braves. Sure did.
That's crazy, man. Brian Jordan and Dion, man. Yeah, another two-sport athlete. We're going to have to do a whole episode on two-sport athletes.
We are, man. So, that's definitely coming, y'all. An episode solely on these two-sport athletes, because I know we always think about Dion and Bo, which But, I don't think Brian Jordan get as much love as he should. He should be up there with them, because he did it for longer than them. He played for the Falcons and the Braves for much longer. I mean, Dion played in the NFL, had a long NFL career, but consistently playing for just these two teams, Braves and Falcons, for a number of seasons, man, and did it at a high level. Matter of fact, for a little while, him and Dion was in the secondary together, I believe, for the Falcons.
Oh yeah, they were
Dion at corner, and I think Brian Jordan was he may have played a little corner, but I know I remember him as a safety.
Brian Jordan was a safety, and he was raw, and I think he decided to end his NFL career and just focus on baseball at a certain point.
But he made that choice.
He made that
he
choice.
He could have doing it.
He could have kept doing it. It isn't like he got injured out of football. No, he just decided I'm just going to focus on one thing. But he was a great player, bro. Brian Jordan was dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I almost forgot one person about the 90s, the 2000s, the 90s and the 2000s we got to bring up, man. Dontrell Willis.
D-Train.
Bruh. We gotta bring up Dontrell Willis, man.
The D-Train.
That boy, his pitching style. He was not only was he dominant, but he had such a flamboyant pitching style. Like, he kicked his leg up in the air so high, bro. You thought he was doing a Broadway stage dance or something, like, bro.
Right. Hey, and another one who did this before CC.
Sure.
He was another one.
He was on the mound like this, straight bay.
Yep.
Yeah. He was on the mound like that, Dontrell Willis.
Man,
That's
the
a
D
little
train,
Barry
yeah,
right there,
he was
bro.
dominant when he was with the
Gassing too.
Marlins, man, gassing, man, yeah.
Did they go to the World Series one year
They
when he was
did, they
pitching,
did.
right?
That year they had Gary Sheffield was on the squad that year.
Yeah.
The Marlins had a squad back then, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's
Man,
man, you
D Train, man.
D Train. I love that pick, man. Look, before we get to our last cut, we talk about, of course, these midsummer classics. So we talk about the summer and memories of the summer. So if I were to ask you, what's one summer baseball memory that you have? It could be playing, it could be watching, it could be just being in the local community or whatever. But what really feels, smells, tastes like baseball to you when you think of some of your summer memories?
Oh man, I got a whole bunch of them because there's memories that I had when I played. There's memories that
Yeah,
I had when I went to watch professional games, and there's memories that I had when I coached
yeah,
kids playing. So, I don't know, man. I think from a nostalgic standpoint, when I coached, little league baseball, youth baseball, it wasn't the official little league,
yeah.
but it was youth baseball, competitive youth baseball in Laverne, Tennessee, where I coached about 6 years. And we coached a team called the Cardinals. I was assistant coach, third base coach, and we 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 won in 4 seasons. So we played one fall season and
Mhm.
3 spring seasons with this team.
Yeah,
Maybe alternated a few players over the years because they aged out or what have you.
right.
And we always in the league, we were the only team in the league that every single season we had at least one girl on our team.
Huh.
And we were also the only team in the league that had 2 or more 6 year. It was like 6, 7, 8,
Yeah,
9. That's how they did it. It was 6 through
yeah.
9.
Wow.
And so you had to manage how you choose these players because you're going to be coaching these kids 6, 7, 8, 9 as long
Mm-hmm.
as they choose to come back. But you couldn't. There was not enough of 7, 8 year olds. You couldn't stack your league with 7,
Right.
8 year olds. You had to choose a certain number of 6 or 7 year olds.
Yeah.
So we always had 2 6 year olds in addition to a girl on our team. So we had the youngest team in the
Huh.
league every season.
Huh.
But we won 101 games and lost 3
Wow.
in like 4 seasons.
Huh.
We lost, so we won a championship every single season, and all those the summer memories is because we won so much, and we took half of our team was the all-star team that
Yeah.
we would take and travel around to these
Right.
tournaments and
Right.
stuff like that. Those are vivid memories to me
Yeah.
because there's so much time spent at the field. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so much time getting your kids prepared and getting their minds right. But over those 4 seasons, building the camaraderie with those parents. To this day, I still have parents that'll see me in public and like, man, those teams were great. We had some
Yeah.
great times. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I still see some of the kids occasionally. They're all grown up now, but they was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, coach, remember when we used to run? Man, it was so much fun. Like, if I'm being honest, that's really the first summer memory that comes to mind. I
I
have so
love it.
many of my personal memories
Right.
from
Right.
playing and from going to baseball games, but when I think of the summertime in baseball, that's really what comes to mind because I spent so many years coaching those kids.
I
Man, it was
love
a lot of
that. I
fun.
love that, man. Of course, being Coach Trey, I spent a lot of summers coaching ball at as well, and there is nothing like these players who are now adults. Some of them with families of their own now, but they still call you coach.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
still to today,
Nothing
we
like it.
talking 15 years later, and they still call you coach, and that just goes to show the impact that coaches have on young lives, coaching them, 7 8 9 years old. Those kids never forget you. So if I could just encourage any man, woman, anybody out there who wants to invest in young lives, and you have, just basic knowledge at that young age, 6, 7 years old, they just need your presence. They don't need to, all the intricate skills, for baseball. They just need somebody. They just need your presence. Go volunteer to be a coach at a youth baseball league. Those kids will never forget you. And, just like we just mentioned, years later, when they see you and they're adults, grown on their own, they still gonna call you coach. Every one of my players still call me coach. And so, that led me into, becoming a life coach and having this nickname of Coach Trey, because it just stuck after so many years. I haven't coached since probably 2012, like coach baseball since 2012, but still, people still call me coach, and I consider that an honor, and I don't take it lightly, man. So yeah, that's a great memory that you have, man. And I have some of those same type of memories coaching youth ball all the way up to high school and college age players, man. But for me, I'm gonna keep it to my childhood, because, of course, we played a lot of baseball growing up, with Little League and Babe Ruth and all that kind of stuff. And I remember going to the baseball field, Little League, well before my game or staying well after my games, and just being there watching the other teams. And then there'd be a foul ball that went over the fence, over the backstop or whatever. And the announcer would say, "Please return that foul ball to the concession stand for a free treat." Man, you would have all these kids running for this foul ball, wrestling and fighting for this foul ball just to get that free treat. And the free treat was probably just like a little sip of Coke or maybe a piece of candy or something. But we was wanting that foul ball to get the free treat, man.
Bruh, facts. You used to stand like out in outfield near the foul area where, like if he hit it, he's gonna hit it over here. I used to get savvy, man. Oh, he a lefty. Let me go to this side of the field, because if he foul one off, it's probably gonna come over here.
Yeah, man. So, man, that used to be so much fun, man. Just running after those foul balls, man. And it got a little dicey, a little dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, baby. I had it first. No, I had it. Pushing out the way. I mean, get your knees skint up, man. Get pushed into the fence because you try. Somebody trying to get the ball before you. Man, that was crazy, bro. Man. Then you be mad at the kid that get it like 2 or 3 times in a row. You be hot. And he's sitting over there like,
he got his cup of Coke or whatever, looking at you like,
and some candy, got a sucker in. You know what I'm saying?
Man, those are days, man. I love it.
That's funny, bro.
But yeah, man, there's some great memories, man. So, and then, just being at the ballpark, Major League ballpark, and, the game itself is always a great experience, but just being in the stadium, like, just I can still remember the smell of the hot dogs at the Oakland Coliseum. Having my dad or my grandparents or somebody sitting there eating a bag of peanuts, and we leave. It's just a crowd. They just surrounded by peanut shells all around them as we left. And eating sunflower seeds. That's so nostalgic, man.
That's super nostalgic. We used to eating sunflower seeds on the field, bro.
Yeah,
fill our back pocket with sunflower seeds.
Man, here's something crazy, and it pissed me off when I saw it. The local youth baseball fields where I live here in Sacramento, they have a sign up as you get to the field saying no sunflower seeds. Like they prohibit you from eating sunflower seeds at a baseball field. Like you can't have them on the field. You can't eat them in the stands. No sunflower seeds, because they claim they're protecting the wildlife. It's baseball. Man, come on now.
Come on, man. This is what wildlife you protecting? The birds that decide to land over here. I mean, that they're gonna.
Now I've seen a lot of bird seed. Don't they have sunflower seeds in bird seed
with whole shells?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. That's crazy. Because that's part of the nostalgia of baseball. Yeah. Taking as it's like going to a movie theater and said no popcorn allowed.
Right. There you have it.
You know what I'm saying? For real, bro. That's crazy.
Crazy work, man. I saw that sign. I was like, y'all got to be kidding me. Like,
Yeah, man. I know how
who
to piss you
decided
off.
on this?
Yeah,
Clearly, somebody who never played baseball made this decision.
Don't have no clue about that part of the sport, man. I can see if you put no tobacco, you know what I'm saying, no stuff like no sunflower seeds.
Right.
You know,
Crazy
baseball.
work.
When these kids see major leaguers putting tobacco, they might not know it's tobacco, but they see a big old pouch right here and they see him spitting something.
Yep.
And if it ain't sunflower seeds, then what is it? Now I want to know. Since we can't have sunflower seeds, well, what are these major leagues? Because it don't look like seeds. Let me go find out what that is.
Yeah.
Because they don't say we can't have that.
Exactly.
You know, like
crazy work, man. So, man, make sunflower seeds great again.
Hey, we need to get a shirt like that made for real. Make sunflower seeds great.
And I'm gonna wear it out to that part.
Do not steal that. That belongs to Coach Trey. Make sunflower seeds great again. That's dope.
All right, man. So we about to get out of here. So you ready for your last cut, man?
Yeah, man. We be always going off track off the butt.
I
it's
know,
all
man,
good,
but it'd be so good though.
It'd be so good. It's for y'all don't know, man. We steer way off the outline. We've been off the outline. Man. We just be coming off the head half the show.
Man. We supposed to be done like 30 minutes ago, but it's all good.
It's all good.
Okay, so here's your last cut, man. So since we're talking all stars,
right down the middle.
Yeah. So we're talking all stars. So we about to put together our Black All-Star team. So we're gonna go around a diamond, all 9 positions. We're gonna name off our Black All-Stars in each position. So I'm gonna give you the first pick. I'm gonna let you start. You pick the position, but I'm gonna let you have the first pick. Who and what position are you going with?
All right, and so can we not duplicate? We have to.
We can. No, we can duplicate because I'm pretty sure. And when we get to left field, we
y'all already know. Y'all already know. I'm not gonna even announce left field. Y'all already know.
All right, so let's just go position by position.
Y'all probably already know who center field is too. But all right, first base. I'm gonna start off just at first base.
Okay.
I decided to go with Fred McGriff.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, Fred McGriff. I always liked watching him.
Crime dog.
Crime dog, man. Just tall and strong and could hit for average and power and scoop the ball, man. Like he was scooping everything. It wasn't too much getting by Fred McGriff, man.
Yeah, big Fred McGriff. And you know, didn't say much, man, but just let his bat and his glove do the talking, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick. Yep. All right, so first base for me. I'm gonna go with old stretch, Willie McCovey.
Okay, a classic, classic.
Same thing. He kind of is in that same vein as Fred McGriff. Just tall, lean, and could just scoop a ball in the dirt. If it's a wild throw, whether it's in the dirt or up high, he's still gonna get it. Ain't gonna be no error.
Oh yeah.
And then of course, man, a great hitter.
One of these scoops real quick. His legs spread out on the ground. He's scooping it off the dirt like that.
Yeah. So old
Willie
stretch,
McCovey
man.
With that one.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to second base. Who you got? All right, man?
Second base. Man, this was a tough one because there's a whole lot of them. But after I actually did some research on this one because I was like, there's a couple of people that come to mind right off the top, but I decided to go with after doing some research, man, and I forgot about how great this player was. Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph was a second baseman for the Yankees for a lot of years, for like a whole decade. Willie Randolph, man, he was a good hitter for average, base stealer, defensive Gold Glove. I'm talking about like for 10 years, from like 1980 to 1990, something like that. Willie Randolph was the dude at second base for the Yankees. He won 2 World Series with them. He was like I don't know, 6, 7-time All-Star, man.
Yes.
Willie Randolph was, I remember watching him a lot and like, man, that dude was cold.
Absolutely, man. That's a good pick right there. Wow. Okay. So, woo, when I was thinking about second base, I was thinking about, trying to go, somebody historic, back in the day, like, Jackie Robinson plays second base. Ernie Banks plays second base. But then I started thinking, okay, who did I watch? If I'm putting together an all-star team, these got to be players that I've watched, or grew up with. So I'm gonna go with another one from the '90s that we didn't mention earlier, but deserves to be mentioned. And if you turn on the MLB network, you probably will see him every night. But second baseman for the Seattle Mariners, Harold Reynolds.
Harold Reynolds. I knew you. I thought that's where you was going. Harold Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was dope too. He was on them Griffey teams too with A-Rod and them cats, man. So yeah, Harold Reynolds and another one who was gonna hit for average, but getting on base, man, was definitely a threat on the bases.
Oh yeah, Harold Reynolds. I definitely you can't talk about second baseman without mentioning Harold Reynolds.
Yeah.
He was one of those kind of players that he wasn't a superstar, but he was a very solid player every single year consistently.
Yes.
And he might have just came under the radar of a superstar, but you had to talk about him because he was always making plays.
Yes, always. So yeah. So that's my pick. So moving across the
Harold Reynolds.
left.
All right, off to the left. Let's see. A shortstop. I decided to go with I believe he was born in the Bay Area, Jimmy Rollins.
J. Rowe, yes, another Oakland native.
Yeah, Oakland native, Jim Rollins.
He might be Alameda, but you might as well say Oakland.
We're gonna throw him in Oakland. Jimmy Rollins, played most of his years with the Phillies. If I'm not mistaken, as a shortstop. Jimmy Rollins was that dude too, man. He was one of the first that Derek Jeter was definitely dominant in his time at shortstop, but there was very few, dark-skinned black shortstops.
Right. Yes.
Derek Jeter, could pass either way, even though, we accept him along with the rest of us. But Jimmy Rollins was that first, to me, shortstop that I was like, okay, he a black dude from the hood that's playing kind of like I remember Smitty playing, when he played in the infield. That's kind of what Jimmy Rollins remind me of,
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Jimmy Rollins is he was definitely one of those cats that I definitely tuned in to watch because of his connection to the Bay Area. You could hear that Bay Area when he talked.
Yeah, for sure, you can hear it. Ain't never left the store.
Never left. Still to this day, I think he's on. I can't remember what network, but he does the post game. Might be on Fox, either Fox or TBS. One of TBS.
But he's good too. He's very good. He's very good, man. Yeah, he still sounds like you're from the Bay, but his baseball IQ is very high, man.
Yes,
you know what he's talking about.
Yes, indeed. So for me at shortstop, man, of course, it could be easy to say, like a Derek Jeter, Ozzie Smith, or something like that. But here's another cat that was under the radar, and I just watched. He was on All the Smoke podcast, talking baseball, and the pressure that he was under. First of all, he came up with the Giants, but later on in his career, he got traded to the St. Louis Cardinals, and he replaced Ozzie Smith at shortstop.
No, you don't.
Royce Clayton.
Yes. Man, Royce Clayton was raw. I actually almost chose Royce Clayton for my second baseman because he played second base too.
He did.
He spent a lot of years playing second base too. So I almost chose Royce Clayton for second base. But yeah, that's a great pick, bro. Royce Clayton is an underspoken giant. And when I say giant, I'm not talking about a San Francisco giant. I'm talking about he's a giant in baseball as a shortstop. Man, go look. Royce Clayton made some amazing plays. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was great good average, could steal some bases, but man, defensively, man, Royce Clayton was raw.
Yeah, man. One story that he told, real quick. One story that he told on the All the Smoke podcast, when he was with the Giants, and him and Barry Bonds was teammates,
Mm-hmm.
and him and Barry made a bet. I think Barry said made a bet with him. I bet you can't hit over 300 for the season. I bet, and Roy said, I'll bet you $2,000. And so they made a bet. All right, bet
Mm-hmm.
you ain't gonna hit over 300 for the season. And so this was that year. I think this was Barry's first season with the Giants when they made that run, won 103 games,
Mm-hmm.
and the Braves had won 104.
Yeah.
And this was the season before they implemented a wild card. So the loser of the NL West easily would have been a wild card. And this is, of course, when the Braves were in the NL West.
Mm-hmm.
And so it came down to the last game of the season. The Giants needed to win to force a tiebreaker with the Braves. And they would have won the tiebreaker because they won the season series against the Braves. And lo and behold, they had to play their rival, the Dodgers. This is part of the reason why I hate the Dodgers today. Dodgers could have gave up that game to the Giants. Let them
I just be killing our Bay Area team
right.
sometimes.
So the Giants lost that final game in that season to the Dodgers and finished with 103 wins. And so, of course, the team is dejected because season's over. Ain't no wild card or nothing like that. The season is over. So, they all sad in a dugout, because they just had this loss. But Barry still had the mind to go to Royce Clayton's locker and hand him that $2,000. Said, "You earned this," because he hit for 300.
Yeah.
He said, you earned this. And so I thought that was so dope. It showed not only the great season Royce Clayton had, but it also showed the great person that don't get told often, but the great guy that Barry and the great teammate that Barry Bonds was.
Barry Bonds is, yeah, for sure. That's a great story, man. Royce Clayton was just one of those guys that, as a Giant, there you have the greats, and then you have those guys that fall just under that bar, but are so memorable you can't forget them as Giants.
Exactly.
He was one of those that, like, yeah, he wasn't Barry Bonds, he wasn't Will Clark, he wasn't Matt Williams, he wasn't Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah.
But he right there.
Mm-hmm.
He right there.
Exactly, man. All right, so
Great
let's move to the hot corner, man.
That hot corner, man. There's so many at third base too. But one that I recall that I used to pay attention to a lot in the 80s with the Braves, and that was Terry Pendleton.
Ooh, yes.
Terry Pendleton was like, he wasn't scared of nothing. He wasn't flash. He wasn't like a flashy player. He wasn't like making no major highlight plays, but he did have a gun, a cannon from third base.
Yeah.
So, if the ball got a little bit past through the line, but over the bag, and he got to it, he would be running full speed past third base. But he had enough arm strength to turn around and just sling that thing to first base all the way across the field.
Yes.
Terry Pendleton was that dude. And then his hitting style was just he just hit line drives.
Yes.
Man. He's like he hitting the ball clean. He ain't gonna hit the ball out a lot, but he gonna hit the ball hard every time.
Every single time.
Every time, man. That's what I remember about Terry Pendleton. I think that I have never forgotten about him. Like, there's a lot of players I forgot about, and I just have to bring them back to memory. But Terry Pendleton is always at the top of my brain when it comes to third baseman.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man. And I got to agree. So this is gonna be our first duplicate because that's who I was thinking. So
that's crazy.
I was also thinking, just to give somebody an honorable mention, who was a great third baseman as well, and spent some time with the Giants. Charlie Hayes.
Man, I forgot about Charlie Hayes.
Yeah. Charlie Hayes was, man,
he was
great
good.
Third baseman. Could play some good defense. Also a good hitter. Man, Charlie Hayes was that dude, man. Just all out hustle, man. You
Yeah,
know,
hustle.
he
That's
had a
what I
little,
remember about him.
yeah, had a little weight on him, but still, man,
Yeah.
was hustling on the bases, man.
Yeah, hustler. That's what I remember about him. Just a hard working, kind of just a hard, grindy kind of player, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gonna get your best out of Charlie Hayes every at bat, every defensive play. You're gonna get your best from him. When he
yes,
running the
indeed.
bases, like he might not be the best player out here, but you gonna see the one dude trying the most is gonna
Yeah,
be Charlie Hayes.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
All
for
right, so
sure.
let's
Good
take it
pick.
home to the catcher.
Well,
I know we don't think
you
of a
picked
lot of
Terry
catchers.
Pendleton though, right?
Yeah, that was my
You
pick.
picked
So
Terry.
that's
Okay.
yeah, but I just want to give Charlie Hayes an honorable mention.
All right, bet. Well, catchers, man, we don't, there's not a
We don't
lot
have a
of
lot of
black
us.
athletes that's catchers, man, to be honest with you. Like we run, we don't like to kneel down and sit down and you know what I'm saying? We like to even though the catcher is involved in the game, they're involved in the entire game. They get to
Right.
touch the ball on every play almost. But yeah, we ain't trying to kneel down and be stuck in one spot for too long.
Nah, bro. Nah, at all.
But so I got to go. I had to go all the way back to Negro leagues for this one, and I went with the GOAT of catchers or the GOAT of power hitters, and that's Josh Gibson, man.
Yeah,
I just undeniable, man. I don't know of another black catcher that was as dominant as Josh Gibson was in his time. I don't know too many black catchers to begin with, so
yeah.
Josh Gibson definitely stood out right away.
Hey, that's a good one, man. I mean, if you want to talk the best at his position, I mean, just look at
Mm-hmm.
his stats. Just look at his
Mm-hmm.
stats, and Josh gets and we don't even have all of his stats. We just got
Right.
the stats that were documented because of
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have the good statisticians that the major leagues had, and a lot of games were kind of makeshift or whatever, so there weren't official stats submitted. So we only have a portion of his statistics, but still they are
Mm-hmm.
astronomically out of this world. So yeah, that's a great pick in Josh Gibson
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I was reminded of him because I was just in Baltimore last week, and so I was able to take in an Orioles game, and I just happened to see a photo. I was like, man, I forgot about that dude, but he was a great catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, Charles Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Charles
Yeah.
Johnson, like late '90s, early
Yeah.
2000s, big catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was tall, man. I think Charles
Mm-hmm.
Johnson was at least 6'2",
Yeah.
and was throwing cats out from behind the plate on his knees. I mean, he was a great catcher, man, and also could hit. He wasn't just good behind the plate, but was also a great hitter, and was a multi-year All-Star as
All-star.
well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. I forgot all about Charles Johnson, but yes, I do remember him. He
yeah.
definitely was a perennial all-star, for several seasons, was great behind the plate, decent power hitter. Yeah, I definitely remember Charles Johnson. I forgot about him.
Yeah, great guy, man. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
so let's close out the infield. Who you got picking up the peel and sitting on that mound?
All right. So I just I actually picked a starting pitcher and a relief pitcher.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, yeah,
So just because I felt like, man, I can't there's too many good black pitchers
yeah.
and we got to have a reliever at some point.
You need a
Now they
reliever.
might,
You're right.
yeah, they might not be a closer, but he gonna be the next person out there if this person ever get tired. Satchel Paige.
Right.
My relief pitcher might not ever get a chance to see the field
Ever.
but if I'm picking the black all-star lineup, man, I got to go with the most dominant pitcher in the history of the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to lose this game, man.
Yeah.
And I trust in Satchel. I ain't even see Satchel pitch ever a single day in my life, but I trust in the history of him, the stories of him, the documentation. I trust it. So I'm gonna go with Satchel. And
Hey,
then
anybody who could yell out to the outfield, y'all just going to sit down. I got this. Anybody who can do that, he gonna be one of my goats.
For sure. They ain't even gonna hit it. Don't even worry about it. So, Satchel, and then as a relief pitcher, man, I had to go with the Doc, man, Dwight Gooden.
Yeah.
As a relief pitcher.
That's
man.
a good reliever, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So for me then on the mound, I gotta take my modern day GOAT. I talked about him a couple episodes ago, but Dave Stewart.
I knew it. Yeah,
you knew I was going there.
I almost chose him, but I was like, I can't do that to Trey. I can't take Dave Stewart. But I was about to choose it. I was like, I can't do that.
I gotta go with Dave Stewart. And since you put in a relief pitcher, I'm gonna go with a relief pitcher as well, who gave Dennis Eckersley a run for his money for saves. Matter of fact, is the all-time saves leader, Lee Smith. Lee Smith.
What was his nickname?
I forgot what his nickname was.
No. Lee Smith was, but Lee Smith was, man, oh my God. Lee Smith, 20-something seasons. I mean, at one time was the leader in saves in the MLB for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big dude, man.
Big dude.
He looked like a football player on the mound.
Yes.
I definitely remember on the Cardinals, right?
He was with the Cardinals, Cubs. I just pulled up his stats. Cardinals, Cubs, Red Sox, Yankees, Orioles, Angels, Reds, and he ended his career with the Expos.
Oh, he was around, yeah.
Man, check this out. 7-time All-Star, 3 times Rolay Relief Man Award, 4 times saves leader. He's in the Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame. Yeah, man.
Oh, my goodness. 4-time saves leader? That's wild.
Check this out. So he holds the saves record, 478 saves. He also has a career earned run average of 3.03.
That's not bad.
That's dominant, man.
So for how many years he pitched?
Let me see. From 1980. Wow. From 1980 to 1997.
17 years.
17 years.
Dominant. Made the All-Star team 7 of those years.
Yeah.
And was the saves leader for, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy consistent. Most people who pitch as a reliever, as a closer, might not ever lead the league in saves one season.
Right.
But he did it 4 seasons.
And then had 1,251 strikeouts. As a relief man and as a closer, you may be coming in the last inning. You may be coming in the 9th inning. Mm-hmm. You're lucky if you're getting 2 innings. But to come in and for 1 inning and still finish your career with 1,200 strikeouts.
1,200 strikeouts. That's a lot of strikeouts as a closer. If you let's say you do come in the 8th inning, your goal is to see 6 batters and no more. Mm-hmm. That's your goal. Mm-hmm. It sounds like he saw 6 batters most of those times.
Mm-hmm. Had to.
He was he had to have that many strikeouts because if you on those games where you only coming in the 9th and you only seeing 3 or 4 batters, you hope to only see 3 batters, which means you striking out 2 of them, 1 of them popping up, game over. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I just did the math. So 1,251 strikeouts over 17 seasons, and he's a closer. That means he averaged 73 strikeouts per year as a closer. You get like maybe what he probably had about 40, 30, 40 saves,
35, 40 chances.
Yeah,
to start.
So you get at least 2 strikeouts every outing.
Every outing. Man, that's dependability. As a coach, as a manager, to be able to say, okay, we in the bottom of the 9th, we up by 1 run. I'm putting Lee Smith on the mound. We getting up out of here with a win.
Yes.
He's shutting them down. They ain't finna get on base. Down. Man, that's dope right there, man. That's dope.
All right, so we're moving to the outfield.
I forgot all about Lee Smith.
Yeah, Lee Smith was a man. He's definitely, I know he's in the Hall of Fame, but one of those quiet legends, and definitely deserves, when we talk about black pitchers, it deserves to, to be in that GOAT status.
Mm-hmm.
But now
For
we're
sure.
moving
For
on to
sure.
the outfit. Now if we thought catcher was hard because there wasn't a lot of us, when we talk
Yeah.
outfield, there are so many of us
So many,
to
man.
choose
Oh
for the
my God. It's
outfield.
almost unfair. This is almost unfair because we're going. This is where you guys can chime in. This is
Yeah.
where subscribing and commenting comes into play because we can only choose three.
We can only choose
Three
three.
each, which means there's only going to be 5 or 6, maybe 4, because we might choose the same person.
Yeah.
But so y'all let us know who your starting outfield would be. Your starting black outfield would be. But if we just start with left field, man.
Can we just move on to center field? Because we already know.
There should be 2 B's right here.
Right.
We already know what it is, man.
It goes without saying, man. Come on.
We already know what it is. So starting left field, number 25, Barry Bonds. you already know what it is.
We got to edit that and kind of put an echo on that part.
Yeah, Barry Bonds. Yeah, if I could do that, I'm gonna do that for sure. Barry Bonds, man. That enough said for me, man. I don't even know where to go.
That's why I wanted you to go first because I wanted you to have that one.
Yeah, it's all Bonds, bro. It's
Yeah.
all Bonds. I think for both sides.
Yeah.
Hit for power, hit for average, gold glove. Every year in the All-Star game,
Mm-hmm.
Home run leader, single season home run leader, all-time home run leader, on base percentage out the roof, most balls hitting the McCovey Cove,
Yeah.
the creator of the infield shift, like you name it, man. Bonds is it.
Hey,
y'all could put whatever other title y'all want to put on him. That's on y'all. But he's in my star.
If show me your receipts was a person.
For real.
Like,
come on, man. What we doing? It's all lined up.
All lined up, man. So yeah. I knew that this was going to be a duplicate for us, but I wanted you to have that one, man. Bonds is definitely, my pick. So, but if I had to give, like what they would say, a 1 and a 1A, I'll give the 1A to the GOAT from across the bay, Ricky Henderson in left field.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You can't, the thing about outfield too is because they're interchangeable. Bonds also played right field some. He might have played center field a few games, but he played right field toward the end of his career when he started slowing down.
Yeah.
And so the outfielders are somewhat interchangeable, but yeah, I got to go with Bonds.
Oh yeah, no question.
But yeah, and there's some greats that we could have put there. Moises Alou, was great in left field, man.
Yeah. Another one that we don't talk about a lot with the Boston Red Sox, Jim Rice in the 80s.
Yes, yeah, Jim Rice was really good. Yeah,
absolutely.
So there's a lot of them now. We Kevin Mitchell played out there. When Bonds started slowing down, Bonds went to right field. Kevin Mitchell in left field. I remember Kevin Mitchell caught that ball and just with his bare hand, man.
Yeah.
Somebody hit a line drive to the outfield. He was running, chase it down, just caught it with his bare hand. I was like, man, that's
with
crazy.
His bare hand, yeah. And he had another catch where he went through the dugout door. I'm not the bullpen
the
door.
Outfield,
yeah,
running so hard for
made
the ball.
catch and the bullpen door open. Yeah, so yeah, big Kevin Mitchell, man. Yeah, he deserves to be mentioned as well. All right, man. So center field, what you got?
Come on, man. I'm gonna let you have this one because I know we got the same person. So you go first.
Let's see. So for
okay, let's see. All right,
I did go historic. I went historic.
Okay.
And I went with the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays.
Okay. Bro, let you talk about him.
Oh, man. So with Willie, I talked about him a little bit in a previous episode because, of course, I wasn't born when he played, but to be able to meet him and sit with him this was when he was much older, senior citizen, but to just hear his baseball IQ and the way that he thought about the game and the advice that he gave me. I could tell, even though I never got to see him play, and I just heard a lot of stories or whatever. That was confirmation that I'm talking to one of the greatest of all time. I didn't even have to see a highlight, but just by that conversation, you knew you were talking with a baseball god. And and just being so personable, and then to go along with that, just seeing what he did on the field, the defensive skills, the offensive skills, of course, being one of the top all-time home run hitters, in a time where we ain't talking about these little bandbox stadiums that we got now. We talk about stadiums where straightaway center was 475, down the right field line. You talking
420.
Yeah.
It's
like
some fields 420 down the right field line. Like, dang.
Exactly, man. So so that's why I went with him. I know who you going with, but I'm gonna let you have it, bro.
I'm going with the kid.
Yes,
you already
sir.
know. I'm going with the kid, man. I know that probably would have been your second pick.
Yep.
Outside of to say, hey, kid, man, I'm going with the other kid, Ken Griffey Jr., man.
Absolutely.
For all the reasons we already know. I mean,
All
great
the
swing,
reasons.
great hitter, great defense. He'll run up the wall and catch one, rob you home for a home run, steal some bases.
Yes.
Hall of Famer, man. Just all around GOAT.
Yeah, nothing left to be said, for sure. All right, bro. So we got one final position to go, right field. Who you got?
Right field. Well, I mentioned him. I couldn't not, put him in here because I think outside of some of the challenges he might have had, during his playing career or maybe shortly after his playing career, while he was on the field, man, in the batter's box, he was super dominant, and he made me want to watch the New York Mets, and that's Daryl Strawberry, bro.
Yeah.
Daryl Strawberry was the other Barry Bonds to me back then. Like, in Barry Bonds' earlier years, it was Barry Bonds and Daryl Strawberry in my eyes.
Yes.
These are the dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to go
another
Strawberry.
California guy, another California guy right there.
Yeah.
He from LA, but we represent the entire state, the entire Golden State. But yeah, Daryl Strawberry, those Mets teams in the late '80s, especially that 86 squad. That for that short period, that him, Doc Gooden, Mookie, not I was about to say Mookie Blaylock. He was a basketball player. Mookie Wilson was on that team. It had Gary Carter at catcher, Keith Hernandez at first base, Wally Beck. Man, I can remember this whole lineup. This crazy work.
That's crazy that you remember that, but I didn't remember them. But as soon as you start mentioning them names, I'm like, oh yeah.
Lenny Dykstra in the outfield.
Yeah, Lenny Dykstra, man.
Like, I was locked into this team for a good 3 seasons. Like,
I was too.
For 3 seasons, from like I think they missed out on the work. Yeah, they missed out. It kind of got cut short in 85, but 85 through maybe 87, the Mets, New York Mets, was my favorite team. Like I said earlier, I had Mets gear. I had Mets gear and all that, man. So yeah, 85 through 87 Mets was definitely, I was down with them, and especially with Doc Gooden on the mound, Daryl Strawberry hitting them bombs. Absolutely,
man.
Yeah.
Mookie Wilson, I forgot all about him, man. And then all those other, Gary Carter. Oh man, Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah,
I forgot about those players, man. But they had a raw team back then, man.
Absolutely.
Really
and
good
not
team.
Only had Doc Gooden on the mound, Ron Darling.
Man, yeah, was he a closer or he was a starter too?
No, he was a starter too. Jesse
Ron Darling was good. Jesse Orozco,
he was their closer.
Bro, you remember them?
I can't believe I remembered it like that,
bro. But I can't recall them. But when you say them right away, I know exactly who you're talking about because I was watching them teams too.
Yeah,
Jesse Orozco, man. Yes, sir.
That was a great squad, man, and especially that World Series against the Red Sox, man. I feel bad for our a fellow Vallejoan who kind of get a bad break, Bill Buckner. But
Bill
yeah,
Buckner,
it's such
man,
a bad rap. But I mean, Bill Buckner was a great ball player, and being that there we go, part of that baseball factory from
from
Vallejo.
Vallejo. Y'all, I know y'all want, y'all out there that are baseball fans, y'all like to give Bill Buckner a bad rap because, that ball went through his legs and, kind of lost him the game. They could, you can't blame it all on him, but,
Right,
that was a critical play. We understand, but,
right,
he's iconic in Boston Red Sox history as a result. He's iconic
yeah,
in Major League Baseball history. Year after year, every single year, at some point during the season, they showing that play on
yep.
TV. So Vallejo still in, all when they say all news is good news. You know what I'm saying? Vallejo we still in the
Yeah,
mix no
we
matter what.
still in the
Every year,
mix. Good, bad, or
they're gonna talk
ugly.
about CC and Bill Buckner.
Yes, it.
Every year.
Man, I love it. Okay, so for me at right field, man, Daryl Strawberry was man. That's such a good pick,
Yeah, who you
and
got?
I was struggling on this one. I was gonna go with Reggie Jackson, and the only reason I didn't
Oh,
go
you
with
went a
Reggie
goat pick.
Jackson because of course Reggie Jackson did strike out a lot. He hit a lot of home runs, but he struck out a lot. So I
Yeah,
need a little bit more consistency up at the plate. So I went with the Hawk, Andre Dawson.
Andre Dawson. You cannot go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with him, man. Uh Andre Dawson, like we said before in previous episode, he was just a big giant dude.
Yeah,
Like his
yeah,
shoulders was super broad. He looked like he was holding a toothpick when he was standing at the plate. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
That boy is a beast, man. Him,
yes,
and then
indeed,
we could have put Dave Winfield in there. You
absolutely,
know, we could have put in
absolutely.
definitely. By all means, he could have been in there. We could have put Joe Carter in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's so many people
There's
that
so many.
we have at our disposal to choose from, and it's just
Yeah,
unfortunate that there's not as
it's
many black players in the
hey,
league today
yeah,
uh, that these young kids have to look up to because we have a plethora of them to
yeah,
look up to, and that's what this show
absolutely.
is about, bringing it back, man.
Yeah, and so in the future episode, we're going to go a little bit deeper into some of these black players, especially in the '80s and '90s, because it was nothing to turn on the TV, whether it's watching your local team or a national game, and you're seeing multiple black players on the field,
Hmm.
and so we're going to talk about some of the unsung heroes in the episode real soon. Guys who don't have the notoriety of like a Ricky Henderson or a Barry Bonds, but were everyday great players who deserve some love as well. So that's definitely coming in a future episode. This episode, just like the last episode, was filled with a lot of rich history, nostalgia, some feel good stories. I surprised myself, especially mentioning all those New York Mets.
Man, they
I was
surprised
like,
me too. I'm like, man, you remember all them people? Shoot, I forgot, but you sparked my memory too, man.
yeah, man. But I mean, that's just go to show how much, we love this game because, some of
Hmm.
these guys that we've mentioned on this episode, I haven't said their names in a number of years. Like when you said
Decade,
Jeffrey Leonard, I'm like, man, I can't remember the last time I talked about him, but I mean, such
yeah,
a great player. So it's so good to have these type of episodes. And I'm hoping that, maybe somebody who's younger, or somebody who's maybe not in tune to baseball the way that we are will now go and at least Google or go to the Wikipedia of some of these guys and just read about them, just to see,
hmm,
exactly what they did on the ball field, because they got some amazing stories. And, that's why this ain't no short term, podcast thing that we're doing. This is long term because there are endless amount of stories that we could tell. And some that we don't even know about yet. That's the
yes.
crazy thing that we're going to discover new stories as we progress in this podcast. Some
Hmm.
of you who are listeners, you may reach out to us and say, hey, I know this ain't a well-known story, but maybe something that you need to know about. If those of you who follow me know that I do something called the Blackest of Black History, especially during Black History Month, and I do it periodically throughout the year. These are a lot of these stories I'm just now finding out. And so
Hmm.
when I did the story recently about Satchel Paige, some of that stuff I knew that he was one of the oldest pitchers in baseball history, but some of the details I just now realized and found out. So a lot of the stuff we're learning along with you. So there's going to be an endless amount of stories about the rich history of Black baseball that we will share with you. But man, this was another good episode, don't you think, man?
Absolutely, man. Great episode. Every time we do this, I really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like too long of an episode because we're just talking baseball. We're talking something that we love and we're passionate about. And if you're still watching all the way to this point, man, kudos to you. We thank you for being part of our squad. We thank you for being part of this conversation. We thank you for caring enough to watch to the end. And we're glad that you're along this journey with us because, like he said, this is not a fly-by-night podcast. This is not something where, we're just going to talk about the hot topics and get off here. We're not talking about what's hot in the news necessarily. This is history. This is memories. This is nostalgia. This is documentation of lost history. This is a celebration of athletes from our past that were great. And our present that are great. And then we also talk about current things that's going on. Like we just talked about Ricky and Jose Canseco. We talked about the current All-Star game that's coming up. Like we will talk about what's going on in today's game too. But if you love these episodes, just consider the fact that no matter what the timestamp says, from start to finish, we're going to have fun. It's going to be organic. It's going to be original. We're going to laugh a lot. And we're going to be knowledgeable. You could tell that we didn't create a podcast and say, let's talk about baseball. Let's do some research. You don't see us looking down at our phones too much. You don't see us looking at notes too much. Most of and if you do, we're just trying to confirm something. But most of the time, it's just straight off the dome and straight out the heart, man.
Absolutely. 100%, man. So again, just go out, y'all, please give us just a quick click of the button. If you're watching on YouTube, that red button, I'm pretty sure it's red for some of us, but that subscribe button, just go ahead and hit that, man. It goes a long way to just showing some love and support to us as we get this thing off the ground. If you're listening to us in your car, on the go, on your favorite podcasting platform, make sure you hit that plus button, the like button, subscribe button, however it is on that platform, to make sure that you're staying locked in to the Stolen Bases podcast. There's so much more to come. We thank y'all so much for tuning in and being a part of this, being a part of the squad, really. So shout out to all y'all. We appreciate you. We love you so much. And before we get out of here, go ahead, bro.
What you gonna say?
No,
because I want to make sure we don't overstep each other.
Okay, so before we go, I know this is not baseball related, but I just want to dedicate this show in memory of the young brother Nolan Wells, who lost his life recently in Mississippi. A lot of scrutiny, a lot of questions still left unanswered on how he passed away. But we just want to show some love, some light, send our heartfelt condolences and prayers to the family, especially his parents. I know what it's like to lose a child. I lost my son at the age of 21. So I know the pain that they're feeling. And so I just want to make sure that we just took a moment and dedicate this show to the memory and the life of the young brother Nolan Wells, and send our love and light to his family. God bless you.
Absolutely. God bless you. I don't have words to follow that. My love and my heart goes out to the family of Nolan Wells and to Attorney Ben Crump at this point to find the justice in all of this.
Yes.
We thank you for representing our people, Attorney Crump, and thank you for always being a valiant soldier at the front of the line for our people. We thank you so much.
100%. 100%. Well, bro,
I want to say this before we go, though. I got to remind us, because we got a contest going on, bro.
That's right. Yeah, so we got to end it on the high note. Yeah, tell about that contest.
We got a contest going on. If you didn't know, if you haven't seen the last episode, all right, we got a contest going on. Coach Trey right now is holding up 2 caps. He visited Camden Yards, Baltimore Orioles last week, came away. Thank you to the Baltimore Orioles organization with these 2 dope caps. We have a giveaway for these 2 caps. All right. And it ends next Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to announce a winner on the next episode. So here's what you got to do. You need to subscribe to this channel, like this episode, subscribe to this channel, and then make a post either on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok with the hashtag Stolen Bases Podcast or SB Pod.
Yes.
Hashtag SB Pod, hashtag Stolen Bases Podcast. So like this episode, subscribe to this channel, and then make a post, any kind of post. It could say, "We love you, SB Pod." I don't care what it is. It could be a GIF, whatever you call those GIF things. It could be that, whatever you want it to be. But if our music, the Stolen Base soundtrack, is available now on all streaming platforms. So if you do make a post and you include our music, that's when we're gonna put your name in the hat 2 times.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If you add the Stolen Bases Podcast music to your post, you get 2 entries into this giveaway. Right?
Yes.
Y'all don't want to see me right. That hat on the right.
Hey, this one.
That hat in this right. If y'all see me rocking it, it's because y'all didn't take advantage of this free opportunity.
If there are no entries, y'all don't take advantage of it. This hat right here is just gonna go right over there.
Right here, bro. Right here, man. Look, y'all. This is a great giveaway. We're excited about it. It's our first giveaway. This is our way of giving back to those who have already started to watch our content and follow us. This is our way of showing you that we love and we care about the sport of baseball, and we want to engage with you. We want to do more than just feed you information. We want to build a community around this thing that we love. So if you love hats, you love fitted caps, you love the Baltimore Orioles, you love free stuff, you want to see if you can win a contest, you want to see if we men of our word, whatever, enter the contest. Like this channel, subscribe to this channel, like this episode, and share a post with hashtag SBPod or hashtag Stolen Bases Podcast. That ends next Friday. On the next following episode after that, we'll announce a winner.
That's right. Y'all heard it. Nothing left to be said. Get those entries in. Get those posts up. We looking for them. And to make sure that we get it, make sure that you tag us as well to make sure that we see it. We don't want to miss out on nobody, but we're going to be looking for those posts. So I'm looking forward to seeing what content y'all put together, even if it's just a share of our post. Make sure that you're following the Stolen Bases Podcast on Instagram or on Facebook, and just share the content that we have, and just add your own, caption. That's good enough. That's good enough. If you're not the creative type,
just reshare and tag us and put the hashtag in there. That's good enough. But you got to subscribe. You have to subscribe to this channel.
Have to subscribe.
If you don't, if you do all of that and don't subscribe to this channel, that defeats the purpose. Exactly. So subscribe to. That's the first part. The number one, subscribe to the channel. Then go ahead and do the rest. But we got you. And you get 2 entries if you add the Stolen Bases Podcast theme song to any of your posts.
And there it is. So with that said, hey, we out of here. But this was a great episode. Thank you all for joining and tuning in and staying with us for this whole podcast. It was rich, good with history, good with some good laughs, and so it's just much more to come with the Stolen Bases Podcast. So stick with us for more. Next episode is going to be another great one, so stay tuned. And thank you once again. This has been the Stolen Bases Podcast, and we out. But before we out, tell them what
Shout out to the baseball factory. That is Vallejo, California. One love.
One love to the V. We love you.
Yeah. From the sandlots to the spotlight. From the Negro leagues to the big leagues. This ain't just baseball. It's history. It's culture. It's a stolen basis. Yeah. Safe at first, safe at second, history sliding at third. Now we headed home. Safe at first, safe at second, history sliding at third. Now we headed home. Back when the game said no, we built our own lane. Packed out the ballpark, sunshine and rain. Saturday doubleheaders, whole family deep. Legends in the making while the world was asleep. Businesses booming, owners making plays. Culture in the stands, everybody getting paid. Not just a game, it was pride on display. Every crack of the bat said, we gon' find a way. Now I'm looking at the diamond thinking where to go. Used to be the neighborhood, now the kids don't know. That's why we grab the mic and tell the stories untold. Cause the roots run deep and the history go. They stole the bases, but they couldn't steal the game. Couldn't steal steal the hustle, couldn't steal the name. From the dirt on our cleats to the stars in the sky. Black baseball legacy, never let it die. They stole the bases, but they couldn't steal the dream. Now we telling every story that they left unseen. Round the diamond, round the world, let the truth be known. Welcome to stolen bases, yeah, we bringing it home. Safe at first, safe at second, history slide in the third. Now we headed home. Yeah, safe at first, safe at second, history slide in the third. Now we headed home. Now the game's changed. Travel ball costs a grip. Some kids got the talent, but can't afford the trip. Fields in the suburbs, dreams on the shelf. Too many young stars gotta figure it out themselves. But I remember Griffey swinging smooth as jazz. Every kid in the neighborhood wanted that swag. From the backyard fences to the city park lights, we was calling our shots on those summer night flights. See, there's more than statistics, more than wins and losses, more than Hall of Fame speeches and championship bosses. It's about fathers and sons, coaches and friends, and the love for the game that never truly ends. So we dig through the archives, bring the truth to the mic, give flowers to the legends every time we recite. Cause the future gets stronger when it knows where it started. And black baseball story is far from departed. They stole the bases, but they couldn't steal the game, couldn't steal the hustle, couldn't steal the name. From the dirt on our cleats to the stars in the sky. Black baseball legacy, never let it die. They stole the bases, but they couldn't steal the dream. Now we telling every story that they left unseen. Round the diamond, round the world, let the truth be known. Welcome to stolen bases, yeah, we bringing it home. Safe at first, safe at second, history slide in the third. Now we headed home. Safe at first, safe at second, history slide in the third. Now we headed home.